Hello, howdy. I have immediately forgotten how Twitch works. Not Twitch, streaming, YouTube. Oh god, it's happening again. Send all the help. Hello friends. It's me. The one, the only, the bad. And the ugly. It's me, it's Paul. Who is bad at stuff. Another weekly stream. It is very warm. I don't know if you can hear the fan that I've got in the background. If you can, tough. It's too bloody warm. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is nice and fired up about numbers changing in a spreadsheet. Yes, it is hot in Britain currently. Oh, to be fair, it's hot for me. It's like 20. It was like 28 degrees today, Celsius, which I'm sure someone would be like, well, I live in Arizona. It's, you know, basically the surface of the sun, which is, yeah, that makes sense. But I am a weak, very white boy who cannot handle the heat very well, and also very bold, so that doesn't help at all. So I'm shoulders out, guns out, fan on, very warm. My god, he's a VTuber now. Always have been. Other than that one time that I showed my face, but that's fine. The intro music, yeah, I saw you ask about that, Svenja. It's a artist called Ben Elson. I think I turned it down too much. It's still actually going. I use it as a background music for the streams. Ben Elson, E-L-S-O-N. I got it from Epidemic Sound, but you can get it on Spotify. Very good background music. Yeah, so... I found the one person who lives in Arizona. Yeah, I refuse to visit Arizona because it gets to like 120 Fahrenheit, which is like 40 plus bloody degrees. And I'm not doing that. No, thank you. Yeah, no, I won't be painting today because of aforementioned heat anyway. And also I didn't really prep for it. But we've got plenty to talk about in terms of new news. I made a very short, silly video about it. Good, but have a bit of a headache. Oh, that's unfortunate, though, man. It is, yeah, so it's time to let the salt flow through us all as we just sweat. Yeah, 4 armies: Death Guard, Imperial Knights, Ultramarines, and Tyrannus. How are they all doing now? Death Guard players are eating good today. I have a video that I'm making where I start off by saying because I'm going to Death Guard, so I have to go back and be like, well, actually, now they're really good. It seems like Death Guard, like, I reckon if because I did a Death Guard versus 1,000 Suns game against Steve, and yeah, 1,000 Suns just absolutely trounced them. I bet we go back again, same lists, obviously, with the point change, so I have to take stuff away, he has to gain stuff. With the spread the sickness, he would probably win that game now, so... It'll be interesting. Maybe we'll give that a go at some point. I am feeling a bit better. I'm still getting a little bit of vertigo every so often. Not as bad as it was, and it's not. I don't feel as nauseous, which is nice. So hopefully a bit of a longer stream today, and not a in and out 20-minute adventure like it was last time. There you go. Hope everyone enjoyed. You watched it, the couple of videos we've had in the past past week or so. I did the 1 year on Monday, and I did a video today, so thanks for everyone for your questions. That was a fun video to make, actually. I did kind of enjoy doing that, so I'll probably do that again at some point. Yeah, it seems like thousands. So yeah, the top stuff got nerfed, the bottom stuff got brought back up. Kind of very much a I'm watching my VTuber on the preview and my eyes were closed for a long time there, so I apologise. Yeah. Top stuff got nerfed, bottom stuff got buffed. Seems to be about right. It seems like some stuff did really well. Yeah, stuff like Gene Stealers and yeah, Jesus 1,000 Suns, Skeptics Custodes, and Eldari got nerfed. A bro who plays Tau feels ignored since the durability is still awful, but Tau got like 300 plus extra points. Like Tau, like with Death Guard, they've got a lot more points to play with, so you can really just spam more, and the stuff at the top has got less. My Screaming Ravens list does come out really well. Someone did post in the Discord, but I worked it out as well. The only thing that got nerfed was a Desolator. Everything else got buffed. So yeah, Screaming Ravens eating good. So I might pivot to Screaming Ravens. Because you've got to always be at the top. You know, you can't play a subpar faction in this game. You've got to play the best. Drukhari seemed to go okay. I think Drukhari's problems are outside of points, but we'll see. I mean, the stuff what people are, you know, saying like Admech buffed, or like, you know, Tau didn't get any durability, but they still got, like, they got buffed, right? There is no denying that they were objectively buffed. Their points were reduced. Whether that's going to help them, that's a different question. But again, we can get to that and we can have those kind of discussions, which is what we're going to be doing today. Yeah, I think someone mentioned, yeah, TS will pivot fine. I think they will. My list that I took against Steve lost 195 points, but I don't feel like I need them. Magnus is still worth 440 points. Like, even that, I think, is maybe a bit much, but with all the other nerfs, I think it's okay. Obviously, Devastating Wounds is going to come into effect. That's interesting as well. Yeah. Yeah, so the rules... They kept the rules... So games, they kept the rules free and have one army. But they... Every time a codex comes out, those rules are... The data cards are no longer free. The rules are still free, that's fine. But the data cards aren't. Make all of the data sheets free. Cowards. Make the book. I'll still probably buy codexes. I want to do a video about codexes and why I think codexes are really good for me, and it's because I like pretty pictures because I'm really dumb. But I buy codexes, I buy D&D books because I like looking at the pictures, and it's just a nice thing to look through sometimes, just for ideas. Favorite buff so far? I mean, they buffed a lot of the Screaming Raven stuff, which I like. Centurions went down, Invictors went down. The Brutalis got lost like 50 points, which is great. So a lot of good stuff there. Necron's got a decent amount of point increases. Yeah, I think Necron's kind of needed it as well. For what I've read, Necron seemed to be still okay, but we'll see. Again, a lot of this is we'll see, and again, a lot of it is we'll see in the tournament play, which I don't really play. Personally, I don't think you know, only half the work fixing Death Guard. They got a real detachment rule, which is nice, but they're still lacking in durability. I think, yeah, it's interesting with Death Guard because yeah, they're not durable, but they have got a lot of point buffs, so you can get a lot more on the table, and I feel like that's going to be their thing now, is they're just going to have a lot of things on the table that spread sickness. Especially when you're removing not just toughness, you're removing save and stuff and OC. Like, I think that's kind of their niche now, and that's what I like. That's what I think would be quite fun, like a slow, just like meandering, just like wave of sickness, which you can slow down but not fully. But eventually it'll catch up and kill you. Yeah, Devastating Wounds will certainly be interesting. Yeah, because I didn't really understand the Devastating Wounds thing at first. I was like, well, isn't that just the same as Mortal Wounds if you can't save? But no, the bleed over is the thing, right? Well, it's up 10 points, making it a perfect 2,000. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the thing, right? If you were ever in that position, which I mentioned in a video about, like, you know, you're slightly off on points, maybe the nerfs have actually helped you to get that 2,000. Because that's you get a buff for that. You get a mental buff for that. Don't know about both. I feel like Death Guard and Admech buffs seem like a band-aid fix around the fix people want. Yeah, again, I am a bit disappointed in terms of just like there's been some like obviously rules nerfs here and there, and then points nerfs. There's no data card changes, which I thought there might be. Well, no, I think actually there has been some, haven't they? Like some like Admechs are better saves. So there's been a few here and there, not that many. You can still look at them through the army list, though. Oh, can you? So for Tyranids, if you make an army list of them, can you still look at the stuff through the army list? That's interesting. Yeah, codexes are useless if you're going to put the rules on an app anyway, because you can just nerf and buff from that, and then the codexes immediately become worthless. So you need just keep that stuff free, and then have the codexes as it. Like the Age of Sigmar ones that I got a couple of them. They have like proper painting guides in them. That's the perfect stuff you want to have in a codex. It's really useful, and it's the kind of things that I love. I love just opening a book like that, and just reading some stuff. Like that's what I like doing. First time changes didn't do much since they're only about a line, so bad. Just hurts less to bring them now. That's fair. I don't know too much about Votan, so. I love videos about D&D if you play it. I do play. I've played a lot of D&D in the past. I've started a new campaign actually, which I play in instead of DM. I have ideas for D&D videos, and I do like talking about D&D. But yeah. We didn't make Death Guard a full-on horde. Yeah, they're not like full horde yet, but they definitely have more stuff on the board. By the way, Christian, I did the classic thing which I do a lot, which is late at night just before bed I look at my emails and I read an email and go, I didn't quite understand that because I'm tired. I'll read it tomorrow, and then forgot. So I have read your email. I'll reply to that. Remind me. I did see it. There's a lot of reductions as well. Yeah, it's basically, I think, like the stuff that everyone was taking got buffed, got nerfed in Necrons, and everything that people weren't taking got nerfed. So yeah, that's fine. Still boost the toughness of all their infantry. Plague Marines should be T7. I mean, Plague Marines at T7, they can't also nerf their points. Plague Marines at T7 is insane. I mean, that's tanky. Yeah, that's you're leaning far more into the tankiness side. I guess, like, if you made them, you'd have to make them more expensive because T7 is pretty tough, especially with the devastating wound changes. But I don't know. I'm not a Death Guard. Destroyers are still overpriced, as in Scorpec destroyers, because I like Scorpec destroyers. I think they did get a bit of a buff, didn't they? What's my favorite fruit juice? Apple juice, for like proper fruit juice. I drink a lot of squash though, because I can't drink bloody anything else, because I can't have caffeine and I can't have alcohol, so I'm kind of down to juice and lemonade. I like so many broken interactions. Yeah, I've heard about like the big robots and that dude make things worse. Yeah, if you have a 2k list, you still want to have more than 2k points. Yeah, it's one of those things where you can build towards a 2k point list, but you want to have extra stuff in the back for this kind of thing, which I kind of do. The 2k list I have for for my Screaming Ravens has extra. I have extra troops I can throw in if I need to, or take out. Similar with, like, you know, Thousand Suns, right? I've got 190 points to lose, so I can probably just drop like a squad of Rubrics and some Zangors. I should be fine. Maybe, actually, to be fair, if I drop just like the Zangors and one Mutant Vortex Beast, I'm basically there. And that's still a scary list. There's a fundamental mismatch between... Yeah, I think that's right, like, man. I think in terms of like what people want out of Death Guard, and this is the problem, right? I think the problem with indexes in terms of like, what do people want out of a army can vary, right? Some people might really like to lean into Poxwalkers and like have a proper thing, and then some people might want to be more tanky. That's where you can see with Tyranids, right? That's where the detachments come in, right? Like there's a monster attachment, the swarm detachment, etc., etc. But obviously, only we're gonna get drip fed though, right? What a codex is pictures of physical spots for the rules. You guys change the rules of the book. Which, yeah, that's the thing. I like codexes for the words in there. There's really cool pictures, and, you know, really nice. Like, just having that reference guide is always nice, even if it can be outdated. But they've got the cards now, which are also useful. But I guess anyone who's bought cards is gonna have to buy another set of cards when the codex comes out. Two favorite VTubers doing a collab. Yeah. Well, I need to reply to that email. I think Melton needs to be adjusted to buff strength over damage at half range or melee strength. Yeah, so this is one of the things with Drukhari with melee. Like, obviously they buffed Witches and Incubi, but their melee's still crap. So great, you can take more. You can do more. You can do no damage with more stuff. 1.5 scale Hierophant is going good. Oh yeah, I think I saw you post some pictures about that. Yeah, that is looking interesting. Yeah. I think that's the thing, Electman. Like, they went the other way, right? They nerfed the points to get you stuff more on the board. They could have gone the other way, but that, I guess, required more. If you're trying to do a lot of changes, I think about it like in terms of like a video game. Let's say League of Legends, right? If you had to like suddenly change a bunch of champions, you'd change just the numbers. Like when they do like a new season or whatever, it's like, oh, there's new HP regen changes. We're gonna do it that way. But when you're able to rework just one thing, then you can start doing that kind of stuff. Which spawn got a large point reduction? So I love spawn. Yeah. Are spawn overcosted? I think spawn are quite good, but I don't know. I've used them once. They were really good. The 65 points, I think they're actually not bad. I think I had definitely wound nerf, then also had points increase. Yes, like Custodes kind of got double hit there, right? Do you think Optimus Prime could defeat a Warlord Titan? Yes, why not? With enough prep, and also he could turn into a lorry. That probably helps. What about allowing demons into T-Suns? Yeah, I've thought about it. I kind of want to go with T-Suns. I kind of want to be pure T-Suns. I feel like here's the problem, right? Here's my problem with allying demons into T-Suns. As soon as I start allying demons into T-Suns, I'm going to be like, oh, I've got a bunch of demons here. I might as well make a demons list. And then I'll probably start like, oh, well, I'll get a bunch of different demons. I'll have like loads of different demons. And it's like, oh, well, I've got some corn demons here. Why not I try a World Eaters army? It's like I've got some stuff on the side. And then, yeah, that's the gateway to hell. Makes Skyrim more durable, really good for AdMech. Yeah. Well, making things more durable is useful. Gonna build lists on paper again like 2003. Even in 2003, you gotta use the XL. Come on now. Even I was using XL when I was younger. Gotta get off that pen and paper lifestyle. You have aggressors for your Marines, if not, I recommend. Which ones are aggressors? Are they the punchy flame ones? I have 3 of them because I got them in an Imperium magazine. I haven't done any my son's methods the army. I don't have to get points of. Yeah, my list went down. My list is now 195 points more expensive, and that's not too bad. Even the indexes to drop, my first thought at Ironback and DG was disconnected what they are. Yeah, that was the thing. Is a lot like 1,000 Suns were perfect. Like when that drops, they're just absolutely great. Like they're really cool. And even now, even with the points nerf, they're still like thematically amazing. But when I was playing against Steve, the Death Guard just didn't feel like they did anything. And they can have more stuff now, right? And I think their army rule is going to help a little bit, or the detachment rule, whatever it is. But yeah, it just felt like they did nothing. Optimus Prime is 5 meters short in the current height of the Warlord Titan. Well, he can go for the knees then, can't he? You know, have you ever watched wrestling? You know, you got someone like Darby Allin versus a giant. He just goes for the legs, or he just hurls himself full pelt out the ring with no regard for his own well-being. I don't recommend doing that, but I mean, if Optimus Prime did that, he's a truck, so you know. Virgo has a lot of ACMEC versus Necron. Starting every game with his detachment doing 0 to them is fun. Yeah, the ACMEC detachment rule is weird. I don't know. Also, as an army star for CP, so I don't get why you use angles when cultists are cheaper and give you extra CP. Because I don't own cultists. I don't really like cultists as a thing. They're just kind of boring. Like I said in that video, cultists, like just being a dude is kind of boring. Zangles are like bird goat people, which are cool. Drukhari only nerf is very dumb. Yeah, Ravagers paid the price a bit for apparently Ynnari, because I think Ynnari were taking them, but still, Ravagers were too cheap. 95 points for a Ravager was absurd. And I think if you kind of calculate it out, if you take 3 Ravagers, which are 60 points, you've probably gained that somewhere else. So your lists haven't lost or gained anything. The problem is you're still Drukhari. I mean, Drukhari are okay. The Drukhari have had success, and I would like to try more Drukhari. But pretty much everything else, Scourges, Cabalites, Hellions, Reavers, Witches, Incubi, Racks, basically everything else got buffed. How are the Orcs now? Apparently Orcs did alright. I think they got some point buffs. Yeah, some armies, this is the thing, some armies are going to need more care to fix because they kind of bugged it up. But you can't do that. To do that, you're going to have to wait. They're going to be doing that in the Codex, right? They're not going to, unless they're really, really, really bad. Like they're, even after all of these buffs and nerfs, they're still terrible, so. Teams are AOS compatible, so there's that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay, cool. I was checking because I was trying to work out how far behind I was stream-wise. No, I'm not playing an ad to YouTube. Hold on. Demons are AOS compatible. That's the other thing. Is if I make a Demons army, it means I've got an AOS army, which is actually useful. But then I've already got like 2 AOS armies I'm not actually playing. Try painting 1 unit of pink horrors. You'll never ally again. Pick a bunch of CFM in the boxes, I'm real slow at painting my Empress Georgia. You'll get there. I've got so many boxes of stuff. Some people say they bribe Thousand Suns with psychic abilities. Yeah. Hey kid, you want some psychic? Yeah, I think I know that, like, obviously losing the psychic phase was a thing, but I still think Thousand Suns actually are really cool. Doombolt is just cool. I think Doombolt's the best thing in 10th right now. It's just cool as hell. I love Doombolt. Like, if I could just have one thing, Doombolt. But they didn't nerf Doombolt, which is great. Who do you think? What do you think is the best assassin right now? I don't know. I actually have no idea. Probably something with Doombolt, to be fair. Oh, well, it isn't Captain Right. Hell, aha, take that. I made a bet with Steve Hedgehog that that he thought that basically when the codex started coming out, that war gear would start to cost again. So like weapons would start to cost points. And I said, nah, they're not going to do that. And basically we said whoever is right, the other person has to paint them a model. So I was right. So yeah, get wrecked, Steve. You have to paint me a model because I'm not going to paint my own models. Was an army like the look of it would absolutely never collect? It's a good question. At the moment, any of them that I like, because goddamn, I don't need to collect any more armies. Probably Genestealer cults. I think they're cool, but they're not an army that I really vibe. I don't vibe with them in terms of I don't really want to sit down and paint them because they're not that cool. But they seem like a cool army to play. Does this mean you're gonna learn AOS for us? I will at some point. Although apparently there's rumors that 4th edition's coming soon, I guess, but that might not be till later next year. But anything I can use as an excuse to not do something is perfect. Yeah, without Cortez, the Chaos War machine would basically fall apart. Only a few thousand Marines follow the Dark Guards are not going to have enough followers to maintain influence. True, but also, have you considered that Zangors have cool bird heads? Yeah, I don't know what the problem with the chat delay is. On Twitch, it's amazing. It's like 5 seconds. On this, even with the proper setting for chat delay, wait, let's have a look. It's like 30 seconds to a minute. It's absurd, and I don't know why. It's very annoying, YouTube. Don't make me just migrate over to Twitch, because I don't want to, really. I'm not banning Doombolt. Are they afraid to commit big changes to index factions or something? Because with the way they've been balancing things, casual games will see more variety, but comp's still doomed. Yeah, I reckon it's a case of the fact that they don't want to. They've probably already got the plans for what they're doing in the codexes built, right? So they don't want to have to do a big change just to change it to something else with the codex. But I don't know. To give Games Workshop its due, this is a tricky game to balance, right? And to make. I mean, not that I'm letting them off with some of the garbage they have put out, and it is just one of those things where obviously, they can and should be able to do a better job. There's a lot of problems with what they do, but it is still a fairly difficult thing to get right. And I think it's going to be. I think especially when you're doing a full new edition. I do kind of like to be more sympathetic to this stuff. I know some people can be a bit, very aggro about it. And yeah, it is very frustrating when like stuff is badly buffed, nerfed, and there's some stuff where you really just think, oh, why don't you just do it this way? Like the bloody, just make the changes 2 different colors. Someone made a good point. I said green and red, obviously colorblind, so blue and red would be good. Just simple stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like coming from, I'm a software tester, and so every time people are like, oh, was this tested? Why wasn't this tested? Like, this is clearly was just like not tested at all for like video games. I'm like, come on, it clearly was tested. There's a bunch of stuff that goes on in the background that you don't know about, blah 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 blah. So I kind of try and be a bit fairer towards this kind of stuff because I don't know what goes on in these systems, but also it can be frustrating. I put up my first model yesterday. Luckily they're a cursed cultist, so they're meant to look like a mess anyway. But hey, they probably look very good. So well done. Well done for picking your first model. Yeah, Steve is probably going to be finishing my first Screaming Raven, yeah. I think another year until 4th, yeah, that makes sense. Zangles are not dumb. Zangles are friend. Zangles friend. Yeah, you... The thing is, on YouTube, I get, like, a decent number of views, because obviously most of my audience is on YouTube. On Twitch, go follow me on Twitch. I don't stream on there that often because I just play Jump King, but hey, go follow me there. And if that starts to overtake the viewers I get on YouTube, maybe I'll migrate over. But yeah, it is a bit annoying because I want to use YouTube to have the conversations. Obviously, I'm having a conversation like a minute in the past. So I apologize if you say something and I don't remember what the context was. And then a minute later, you'll tell me what the context is. Yeah, it's basically, it's a skill issue. Hi Zenetti, I'm Zeteni, bloody hell. I'm well, thanks. How are you? I think we're going to be doing that every video, so I look forward to that. Let's look forward to what will happen next year around this time, if not a bit sooner. It's a 3-year edition cycle. 3rd edition launched in 2021. Really? I guess it did, right? God, it feels like it was not released that long ago. What's my favorite type of biscuit? Millionaire's shortbread. Alright. Let's do... We'll do a quick, keep the conversation going. We're going to do a quick, the old... I need to of course, other things catching up on. I'm catching up on show and tell. We are on page 9, and since last time I've gained another 2 pages, so we are getting through. This is still in the middle of July, so we're like almost still 2 months behind, but we're starting with cornflakes. 1 down, 46 to go, with a very interesting color scheme. I like it. Very vibrant, purple red with this blue. I like this. I do like the blue. Like, what do you call it? Kind of see one in the background here as how it's going as well. What do you call it? Like a spot color. Very, very cool. Good question. What happened to comments of the week? We got one 2 weeks ago. We didn't get one last week. There is one this week. I need to go set it up. I'll try and find it and put it on screen. But I do comment of the week after the first either after the first go through of this or after the second, after the main thing. So, also yes, ADHD Yoga Burrow. Mr. Sharp Spoon with a is this the Parasite and Mortrex or whatever? Hell yeah. I like the they got this kind of like muted fleshy tone with the purple, and then you got this really bright, actually let's go back one there, really bright like yellow and green kite in here. Very, very cool. And again, blue claws seems to be a popular theme at the moment. That's very, very cool. Sister of Mortrex. Moving on to Recruit of Apollo crossbow battletech model. Ooh, very interesting, very nice. I love the shiny kind of magenta on this. Magenta? Very, very cool. I don't know too much about battletech. I know they use hexagon aces, because hexagons are the best of it. But they're very, very nice. Clockwork Jackal, who finished the Terminator Captain. Yeah, it's unfortunate with that face. I won't blame you, because that's just GW. Very, very nice. Very cool. Not sure what chapter this is, but you got some really nice freehand on here. I like this, like, almost, not rusted, but like a I'm using the word again, tarnished sword. Very, very cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. Really like that color scheme. Really nice cloak. That pop of gold. Oh, you got the helmet there as well. So you actually gave him a helmet on his belt to show he has a helmet. I appreciate that a lot. You've heard of Tonks? If so, would you play it? I've not heard of Tonks. Totally a spy. This is Boatman. We had some boats before. I always like seeing these. These are very, very cool. I love this one here. Very colourful with the sails, but this fire in the mouth. Very, very nice. All these shields as well. Excellent, excellent. really nice. Yeah, I can never remember the name of the game, but yeah, these boats that he makes or that he paints are really, really cool. I like. Is this a spinning fist? Let me just go back to that one. Yeah, it's a spinning fist at the front of a boat. That is. You know what? That is hilarious. I love it. Yeah, the wood effects you do are really, really good. So great job. Totally a spy. Hi, Fratis Nox. And thank you, whatever. Yeah, this is. I didn't make this. I need to add somewhere. I need to put into the descriptions who made this because it's unfair to not give them credit. There's someone on Fiverr called Izzy, who does actual VTuber models, but I got them to do this one because I couldn't be able to make my own. Mr. Sharpspoon. With the first Mantis Warrior done. No Symbol X transfer sheet has not come in. Very, very nice green. Green is also very nicely done. I like how this is, it's got like a camo theme to it. Really cool. It is a spinning fit. The game is Kings of War Armada. That's the one. Very, very cool. I really like the gun here as well. That's very nicely done. Great job, Mr. Sharpspoon. How mad have we got the balance data today? We have not been too mad so far. We haven't been through. We're going to go through the actual whole thing and talk about it, but we've had some conversation already. So if you want to yell about it, go ahead. A Warhammer Durham sent a storm bash together an orc battle wagon and the underwater elves broken ship. That sounds cool. Thanks, Thomas. Yeah. I do want to get some painting done. I've kind of like been half motivated, but also the heat has just sapped all my energy. So I've kind of been half motivated, half not motivated. So this is a Dr. Malpractice PhD, the 3rd edition Metal Celestine, an old school model. You've done the old school Goblin Green base, which I enjoy. And a very nice purple cape, which is a very nice model in general, but the purple cape stands out especially, is really nicely done. Really like that, well done. Zenic with Fabius Bile. Very cool gore over here, I see. And I like the vials here. Some things like that, and the hair as well, actually. Very nice, like little extra bits there. Very nicely done. Yeah, there's this purple spot colour. And then this guy. Don't know who this guy is, but he seems like he's having a good time. Nice and gory. Yeah, really nicely done. Oh, the faces come out really nicely as well. But yeah, I think it's these things here and the arms here, both very, very cool. Yeah, the charging was not unexpected. The fact that you can, I guess, use one list is fine, but the removal of indexes is weird. It's unfortunate, but people will just go back to Battlescribe or whatever anyway, so. Finished a Crimson Fist, JD. And that you did. That's a very nice Crimson Fist. Very good good detail with the shadow here, with the shade, I guess. Very, very nice. Only one angle, but very, very cool. Thank you. Fabulous build. Yep, that's the one. Not a train going past Wolverhampton. Help. Just beware of the live wolves in Wolverhampton. They will get you. Totally a spy. Again, just need to clean up the rims. And after that, squad is finished. Very nice. I like this mace. Is this Death Watch? I guess. Cool models. I love this hammer as well. Have a look at the individuals. Yeah, this sword is super, super cool. And very nice gun as well. And the little detail here. Excellent detail. Yeah, I love this hammer. Just, yeah, very, very clean. Especially that yellow. That yellow was super clean. Lovely blue glow from this thing here. I love this gun. This gun's cool. This combi flamer here. Like, this, what is this? I don't know what this is, but I like it. Is it like, it looks like a grenade launcher of some description. Very, very cool. Totally a spy. It is Deathwatch. Hey. Just finished watching 1 year update, Cross, and bringing fun level. Yeah, thanks, Pizza Marina. Yeah, that was a fun video to make. I wasn't expecting it to do too well, as long as like some people watch it. Yeah. I'm just glad to be able to do something. New recruit. I keep hearing new recruit. I might give it a go. Battlescribe is updated for 10th. I just don't use it on the phone because the phone version's garbage. Necro knife very lore accurate. That's fair. What month are we in the backlog? We're currently on the 18th of July, so we're about 2 months behind. Yeah, it is difficult to get. Frag cannon, thank you. Dustin, yeah, T-Suns were nerfed. Return from Germany with models to paint, very nice. Hell's Cleaver, Judicator, I think it's Judicar, but I won't hold that against you. With a little bit more tabletop standard. Very, very nice. I love this kind of like matte black aesthetic as he walks forward with this beautiful sword. Just the one angle again, but really nice on the sword. Yeah, T-Suns will be fine. We were nerfed, but we'll be fine. Yeah, Paragon Warsuits always seem to go down by 40 points every time I see them. But yeah, T-Suns obviously were one of the heavier nerfed ones, but we'll be fine. We'll probably be fine. I hope we'll be fine. Misha Kastrelevich. They have painted up a Raven Guard sniper for their kill team. And have done a very nice job of it. Look at this. Lovely detail on these here. And the weapon is amazing. Look at that edge. Look at that horse. Anyone understands that reference? Oh, and I think you've added feathers here with green stuff. That's very cool. Really like that. Wonderfully done. Yeah, that's a very, very cool cape. Yeah, this weapon with this is as clean as hell. Super nice job. But Misha, very, very nice. Opinions on the devastating wound changes? I think they're alright. We'll probably go more into it when we get around to actually look at it. The Judicia? Yeah. I think it's a Judicar, but it's got an extra I in it that I keep forgetting about. Garvial Loken with something. Custodes? Custodes. Love the colour scheme. Very, very cool. Very cleanly done as well. Especially you got like the details here in like his hand and his sword. Yeah, that sword's very, very cool. Is there a nice... yeah, you can see it there with how clean it is. Very, very nice. You got and another to follow. Can't do arms. Well, we'll be the judge of that. It looks like you can, so you're lying to me. With some of the Leviathan bucks. 3 of the HQ here. Really nice job on the runes. Maybe we'll get a closer look at each one. Yes. Yes, great cape. Amazingly done. Really clean on the gold. And this sword again. Very, very good swords today. We seem to go through phases each time we look at stuff where like we get a different thing each time. Very, very clean. Yeah, the runes have come out really nicely. And yeah, the poison on the poison here from the blade. Very, very, very good. Love that. I'm gonna go back a couple because there was a good view of this one as well. Like from here, you can really see how cool the that's come out. Very, very nice. Am I too late to get mad at data sheet? Nope. We're doing data sheet after the following number of fixtures. Sassamon with some just need to base some Tyranids. Very, very cool. Very nice color scheme. That was a bit blurry, but you kind of see the bottom here. Color scheme that we're going for. Very, very nice. Really nice, not like this chitin here. Love that color. Great job. Ari with some done aside from the transfers. Very cool. Gone with the red rune glow, which is very, very nice. And very, very well done as well. Yeah, extremely clean, just all over. Yeah, I love that red rune glow. It really pops. Super good job. Hedgehog with some of the shatter point. Excellent. Excellent work. Loving that purple. Really nice. And this gold here, really nice. And this cape is amazing. Really, really good cape. Cape, dress, cloak, whatever it is. Very, very cool. Is Shatterpoint plastic or resin? I don't know. Shuffle Bunny. I don't collect just nids. I don't think anyone accused you of that. Maybe they did. Steve, if you're still in chat, is Shatterpoint plastic or resin? I actually don't know. You've probably answered it by the time you'll hear the second time I ask. Because of delay, but hey ho. So yeah, Shuffle Bunny with some Dark Angels. A lot of Dark Angels, Jesus, there's even a drop pod. There's something down here as well, I can't quite see what they are. Very, very nice. And demons as well. I love this shot, by the way. This is a very cool shot. Shows off that green that you've done very, very nicely. Super cool. So I think someone mentioned we're about to get to Ari's Blood Angels, so here we are. Ari with a Blood Angel tank. This, like an R-place thing? I don't know what that is. Yeah, I can see Osu there, so it must be an R-place thing. As soon as you see that pink circle in that location in a pixel place type thing, you know it's that kind of situation. That's the kind of tiny minutiae knowledge that I have that I really shouldn't have. Yeah, really, really nice tank. Again, weathering. Very, very nice weathering. And the inside as well. Look at this guy. Blood death. Always love a good heavy metal slogan on a tank. We can't forget the legendary Emperor suck. Don't go into plastic. A little bit more rubbery. Thank you. Yeah, this is the thing is with we're getting more into it. Points drops and the nerfs and buffs, because they're doing it across the whole every army. It's not going to help how the army feels. It's just going to help the army perform. But yeah, can't believe I almost had this on the front panel. I like that. I mean, let's have a look what the front panel is now. Yeah, to be fair, you definitely made the right choice, but that's not bad. I do like that. I think it's just a little I think if that was cleaner, but again, it's difficult to do freehand like that. So yeah, I think you made the right choice, but I do still think it would be a cool thing. Are there any more books for Legion Dan? Possibly. We have got a month and a half worth of stuff to get through, so there might be more from him. Small update, first half of Kill Team, aka the Warrior Squad in 10th edition is finished. Please ignore the unfinished Turvy in the background. I will only look at the unfinished Turvy in the background. Same with the cool wooden right. Oh, I see it now. So the cool wooden rhino. For some reason, because obviously we just looked at a Space Marine tank, I thought it'd be a wooden, like, Space Marine rhino. But I guess not. I love this color scheme. Again, really nice color schemes for Tyranids. This, like, the blue with the smidge of orange really looks nice. Like the kite in here that you've done is very, very good. And I'm not ignoring this. Everyone make sure not to ignore the unfinished Tervigon. We're going to sit here for 5 seconds and really appreciate the unfinished Tervigon. Okay, we'll move on. Yeah. I love this scheme. This is such a cool scheme. Great job. Thank you, Forful. It is a horror space. It's not a Tervigon. I don't know. What am I? As long as we appreciated it, that's all that matters. I want to see a wood theme space. It'd be like the episode of Futurama where Bender is made of wood. Sorry. Thunderous Gaming finally got the I'm going to annoy everyone, so I'm going to pronounce this as badly as possible. Arbites. That'll work. I know it's like arbiters. I've probably pronounced it correct. Arbites. Let's just call them Arbites. That's the worst one. Just in time for a friend coming over tomorrow for an evening a kill team. These are great. You're not showing me your unless you did show me or I've already seen them, but the Drakari back here are great as well. Love these. Very, very cleanly done. Like just excellently executed all over. Love the gold. Love the dog. There's so many battle dogs now. Super, super cool. And we will end finally. Once I've asked this question, Yoko just joined. Want to say you're cool. Thank you, Fainor. At least someone thinks I'm cool. What do you think of the new Futurama series? I haven't actually watched it yet. I probably should. There's also a new series of the final series of Disenchantment that's come out. I need to watch that. I haven't seen either of them. Sorry, Elekman, Rock Gut Trogoths for Gloom Split Gits, other than maybe the wet blended skin on the belly is looking a bit off. You're proud of them. Let's have a look. No, I think they look very, very good. I love... Whenever I look at a picture like this, I always go for like one... My eye always gets drawn to one thing. If it was this hammer, it's very, very cool. It reminds me of a hammer from WoW. I think it was in... It might have been in Burning Crusade. Or maybe it was a bit later. The red Naru hammer. Maybe it was a bit later on, actually, where they had the red one. And I love you got your colour scheme with your purple here for your grot as well. Yeah, really, really nice. I think the wet blending looks fine. I think that's done come out quite well. Yeah, from this angle it looks really good. Yeah, loving the red on all the weapons there. Super cool. Yeah, you can see here like this is fun. This is fine. They look really nice. Yeah, loving them. Great job. I think that was all the pictures. Yeah, I think that was all of them. Right. So we're on the 21st of July. We'll come back later and have a look through a few more of your submissions. Thank you everyone for submitting and continuing to spread the hobby love and showing off your stuff. Glad that people still happy to show stuff off, and yeah, hope you are motivated to paint. Because I'll show it off because I'm like that. I'm a cool guy. Right. Let's now have a look at yeah, hang on, I need to I'm failing. I did it. I had to make sure I like apart from Steve, I think you have a great community Discord. You're so right. Take that, Steve. Everyone say not howdy to Steve right now. If you're in chat, say not howdy. Not howdy, Steve. Because he'd actually enjoy it. Not that he should know that. We're going to have a look at the actual balance data slatey stuff now. If I've done this correctly. There we go. I probably should have timed how long it took for the not howdy Steves to come through. See what the delay was. That one, I think. Hey, oh, I'm slightly off. I'm slightly off the screen. Get me back in. Get me back in. And the chat is just slightly too large. So reduce that slightly. Steve's not the hero one we deserve. That's very, very true. Steve is unfortunately the hero we deserve. He makes me hurt my legs, so actually, yeah, I don't. Steve's not my friend right now. He makes me do leg day. Nobody likes leg day. Especially not me. Anyhow, I'm just having a quick check on the old Discord arena. Yeah, never skip leg day. That's very true. Also, leg day sucks. My legs. I didn't even do that much on leg day, which was yesterday. I only did like. I didn't even get the 120 kilogram squat. I just gave up and just put it down. My legs still hurt. I didn't even do that much. somewhat of a humble brag. I always feel like painting when joining these streams. Currently highlighting the last 10 minutes for my grave nights. Nice. Glad that, yeah. One of the things with these streams is you can have it in the background, just kind of, you know, do some painting if you want. Godzilla never skips leg days. Godzilla never skips any day. Right. So we're going to talk about the balance state, and we're also going to talk about the points changes. So buckle in. We've had some conversations already, but this is now the time to really dive deep and have discussion. And then by the end of it, no one will be happy and everyone will hate themselves. But here we go. So devastating wounds, which is now essentially no longer is it mortal wounds. You just ignore. You can't save. So no saves, no invuln saves. Basically means that mortal wounds could bleed over. They can't bleed over anymore. So a 6 damage devastating wounds can still kill one thing. So yeah, that's the whole thing. Good change, bad change? I think it's a good change. It kind of makes sense in terms of, if you think about it in the workflow in terms of lethal hits. Basically what lethal hits and devastating wounds are now is basically ignore the next step in the process. So with lethal hits, you ignore the wounding step and you go to you go straight to the save step. Devastating wounds, you ignore the save step and just go straight to damage. So it's a bit more consistent now that you've got that. It's basically, if it's lethal hits, ignore the next stage of the damage. If it's lethal wounds, next stage. What is mortal wounds now? Tank, shock, and grenades. That's all I can think of. Yeah, that is the thing that has been pointed out. Is that yeah, where mortal wounds aren't as prevalent anymore, because a lot of the times mortal wounds, I guess in 9th came from. Let me try and think. A lot of it was psychic, right? Psychic did a lot of mortal wounds, or weapons have like also deal an extra mortal wound here and there. So yeah, I can see that may be a concern in that mortal wounds no longer is a thing, but also I think Fratis Nox kind of has the idea is that tank weapons no longer, you can't just kind of blast a tank weapon and kill like 5 people, right? That is the main thing. So yeah. So I think it's a good change. It'll be interesting to see how much this actually affects when I play, because yeah, think about like stuff like Thousand Suns. A lot of that stuff is lethal hits or sustained hits. There's a bit of devastating wounds in there. Actually, there's a fair amount, I suppose. Yeah, I think it's all right. This one is interesting. The modifying a stratagem CP cost. These two, this one and well, this one, yes, in particular. This one I don't know if I like. Devastating wounds, while it does suck for Votan, Magna Guns was probably needed for the game as well. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is a lot of the stuff which relied on the devastating wounds, for the overall health, it is better. It also means stuff like, you know, you can't just take your big bummer devastating wounds weapon and just lean on that because it works against everything. And yeah, against Custodes, as Indecision says, that is painful, because I think they had a 4++ against specifically mortal wounds, which they don't anymore. Plus points nerf, and that might be unhappy for them. Yeah, modifying stratagem cost. So I need to reread this. Rules that modify a CP cost of a stratagem when you target a particular unit can only do so for... One moment. Sorry, I just heard a in the other room, and I just made sure that Joe was alright. So yeah. Rules modify CP cost of a stratagem when you target a particular unit can only do so if stratagem targets multiple units. If every unit you target has the same ability to modify CP of a stratagem. Okay. And then rules that modify the CP cost of a stratagem but that do not specify the name of the stratagem can only be used to affect CP cost of battle tactic stratagems. This is not applied to these ones. I don't like this. Is this even new because it's not red? I don't know. Where existing passages of rules of text are presented in newer revised sections. Yeah, so I guess this is a new thing, right? Because it's the whole thing. I don't understand this. So, rules modify the CV cost of a stratagem when you target a particular unit can only do so, but a stratagem that targets multiple units if every unit you target has a save it. So that one kind of makes sense. It's basically saying that if you've got a thing that says, oh, this captain can use a stratagem for 0 CP, you can't then use a stratagem that targets multiple units outside of the one unit that guy is leading, right? That makes sense. This one I don't like because it's very, very rare. Like, what's a battle tactics stratagem? Who cares? Who's ever cared about what this has ever said? It's just stratagem. Who cares if it's epic deed or whatever? This is dumb. I think there's probably a bunch of stuff that they're using it for, but this is really dumb. If they wanted to make things simplified, not simple, this is one of the things they should have changed. Stratagems should just be stratagems. Like, don't be like, oh, epic deed and free cool stuff and this and that. Yeah, I guess it could balance out the stratagems, but like, it's just it's needlessly complicated. Just make it so just have battles. If you're gonna do this, have battle tactics stratagems and then all the other stratagems, and then you can just put the ones that you want to be able to be affected into that battle tactics, and then have them two separate things. Have stratagems and battle tactics, and just have two things. Because if you're only caring about battle tactics, then you've got what is it, epic deed, strategic ploy, free gear, item box, whatever. Like, no, if you only want to affect battle tactics, have stratagems. And just those two, and then you're done. And then at least when you look at it, you can go, okay, here are my battle tactics, here are my stratagems, here are the ones that can be affected by the CC changes, here are the ones that can't. Because stuff like Vect, right? Vect can now... Because rules that modify the CP cost stratagem can only do battle styles. So stuff like the Vect, any Vect stratagems, now you have to know if the stratagem your opponent is using is a battle tactic stratagem, which is very annoying. So I think this is kind of a bad way of doing it, I think. Especially when you have to put two examples. So yeah, a captain's rise to battle ability enables the ability to be targeted by super for 0 stratagem. This ability does not specify a new name of stratagem, so it can only be used on a battle type stratagem. The Asm and tactical acumen ability, however, enables you to target this model's unit with a fire overwatch. So you can use just for fire overwatch. That makes sense. But then why... The annoying thing is then you've got... Doesn't apply to Aircast Colossus, Striding Colossus, or Towering Wraith construct abilities. So you've already got things that ignore it. So you've already got exceptions. A Calidus Assassin's Reign of Confusion ability, when used, increases the cost of one of your opponent's stratagems 1 per speed. This ability does not specify a name, so it can only be used on a battle tactic. Yeah. So it's those kind of things. Rules that allow you to use a stratagem even if another unit has been targeted by that stratagem this phase or turn, but that does not specify the name of the stratagem can only be used on battle tactic stratagems. Yeah, I think this one is specifically for Fire Overwatch. People were trying to use, like for example, people were basically trying to say that you could use Fire Overwatch twice in a phase with Flamer rubrics, which you can't now because it's a strategic ploy, right? So, again, I'm fine if you want to do this battle tactic stratagem stuff, but make it simpler by having the things that you want to be affected by them in one pool called battle tactics and everything else is stratagem. Because what's the next thing going to be? It's like, and it might turn out to be like, oh, these stratagems can only be done with deployed stratagem, blah, 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 blah. The next codex drops on Saturday night. That these buffs nerfs already taken into account in the codex. I imagine that codex is already out of date because they would have printed it ages ago, right? It's a whole printing thing. Like, put it this way, when I got the Drukhari codex in 9th, it was already wrong because they'd misprinted it. They had Reaver jetbikes for 10 points a model, which is absurd. So yeah, that's the thing with the codexes. You can't use the codexes for like points and stuff because they just get overwritten immediately because of the online stuff. That stuff should all be free, always, to help you. And same with like if they're ever gonna change and nerf the actual data cards, they should be available for everyone. and then you use the books to provide more interesting information that can only really be displayed in a book, or like with the D&D books, or even just like with the rule book itself. Like obviously the rules are all free online, but having the rule book is nice because again it's got nice pictures, it's got a bunch of information, it's got cool lore and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm going to my local Warhammer shop on Sunday. Should I get anything? Yeah, get everything, one of each, and then by next Thursday stream, paint everything, please. Thank you. Fire Overwatch stratagem. So the changes here are you can't fire Overwatch on an enemy you aren't visible to, which I didn't realize you could, so that seems wacky. That I guess people are using indirect Overwatch, which is absurd, I feel. So that good job you put a stop to that. And you cannot target a Titanic unit with this stratagem. I don't really know what because there's also stuff about the ruins changes as well. I don't know what that does in terms of what that affects. So I guess that stops you from just kind of overwatching because Towering can see everything, right? What is 3D and it actually looks good? Wow. I'm kind of 2.5D. Unless you're talking about the VTuber I put at the end of the 1 year video, in which case that doesn't look good. Don't know how they thought they could get away with making something like that. Probably just get an Orc kit or something. Yeah, do that. Yeah, like Overwatch. I honestly don't like that they put Overwatch in the movement phase. Overwatch was fine when it was just something for charge phase. But I kind of like it because I've used it and it was fun. Is the Avatar a natural model or warped 2D? It's a 2D model that's getting warped. As far as I know. Yeah. And also, my mouth goes crazy when I scratch my nose and stuff. I'm going to take a drink quickly. And again, you'll see my mouth go a bit crazy. I need to sort out some of this stuff because it's very like sensitive to movement. My arms wiggle. That's fun. Double sponge for close combat armies, which sucks. Yeah. I know obviously you can only use it once per turn, so you can, if you use it in the movement phase, you can't then use it in the charge phase, which is good, but it is still a bit like it's one of those things where rather than it being like it used to be in the charge phase, you wanted to try and bait it out, right? So you would charge something in first that didn't really want to overwatch or that could survive the overwatch before you charge everything else in. With this, it's now the same with movement. It's like, okay, if you've got enough flamers around, it's like I can't move anything until I bait out the overwatch. Change to insane bravery, a battle shock step before you take a battle shock step, so you can't just do it after you've taken it. You can't use it once you've failed. You have to decide to do it beforehand, which I like. Unit army that must take a battle. Yeah. Your unit passes that, yeah. And you can only use it once per battle, which I think is a big change. I think that was one thing people were doing because a lot of armies rely on battle shock to get buffs and stuff. So the fact that you can only use once per battle now is nice. It actually kind of lets battle shock sometimes stick a bit more. But the other thing you could have done is made that 2 CP. Like they do it in the movement phases, it works like how you'd expect Overwatch to work in your typical strategy. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Yeah, I think you're right. It makes sense in the movement phase. It's just a bit. It's one of those things that kind of slows the game down a little bit because you're trying to work around it potentially. But yeah, it's it's just mainly with flamers, right? And yeah, battle shock now. Because so many armies they've leaned into battle shock. The fact that you could just be like, oh, I'm just going to ignore it for a CP as often as you like meant that. And or you didn't even need to spend the CP, you just roll, and the first one you fail, you just go, okay, I don't need to worry about that. Especially because battle shock's not that difficult to fail most of the time. And the ruins change. Models cannot see over or through this terrain feature. i.e. a unit outside this terrain cannot draw line of sight to a target on the other side of it. Aircraft models are exceptions to this. Visibility to and from such models are determined normally in this terrain feature solid within. Models that can see this terrain feature normally, and models that are wholly within this terrain feature see out of it normally. Towering models that are within this terrain feature can also see out. So I guess towering no longer could ignore ruins. But if they're within it, they can. The problem with Batroc is you can't force it. You can make them roll. You can't affect the roll easily. Where morale, you can shoot the hell out of it. Yeah. I mean that's the thing. I think it's because because there are some things like Chaos Knights, for example. I think Tyranids have a lot of stuff where, you know, Battle Shock is part of their core thing. And even like Drukhari, Battle Shocking stuff gets you pain tokens. So being able to potentially make that stick more is useful. I haven't able to play much attention to Battle Shock, not impacting much. Not really. We've kind of found that when something's been Battle Shocked in games, we've gone, oh, okay. Great. Alright, I can't use stratagems and I'm zero objective score. Okay. Oh well. It doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, how often... Not often you do Battle Shock, it really needs to make it easy to fail the test. Yeah, it's one. I think it's one of those things where the armies that can reduce your, or I guess reduce, make it easy for you to fail leadership, stuff like Chaos Knights. The fact that you could then just ignore them with a CP was a bit bad. That sure it's no issue until you roll 1s and 2s. Yeah. A lot of these things are no issue until you just start rolling badly. Alright, faction rules. Unwavering Sentinel stratagem is changed to an Epic G stratagem. I don't know what it was before. And so, I don't know. Custodian Guard datasheet unit composition changed bullet point to 4 to 5. Don't know what it was before. Don't know what it was before. Don't know what were these before? Does anyone know what these were before? I think if you reduce the leadership of every army by 2, the problem then becomes that those armies that reduce it by a further 2 then become far too strong. Because like the average is what, 6 or 7? If you're reducing it to 9, and then you're reducing it even like to basically 11 or 12, that's a bit mad. That's a bit mad. Could it go up to 9 or 10? Oh, alright, so they're really just like, no, you're not having 10 in a unit. That's it. This feels like there's like, I don't know if this is a nerf or a buff, or I don't actually know what this is. But yeah, I don't know enough about Custodes. It's to prevent a weird castle playstyle. Yeah, that makes sense. Admech. So yeah, your range 2 vanguards now have a save of 4, and its invert is 5. Why? They were 5 and 6 before, weren't they? That's crazy. Like, they did not deserve to be 5 and 6. Eldari. And God Wardens are 4 to 5. They were 3 to 6. Coming in boxes of 5. Yeah, that is dumb. Yeah. They were 5 plus 6 plus before, which is worse. Well, the 5 plus is worse than a Drukhari. You'd think with all the crazy stuff they do, being, you know, metal because metal's better than flesh, you'd think they'd have a better bloody save. I think they make some of that metal, you know, bit of hardened steel, but yeah. 4-5 is better. Real world balancing issue because we're not facing down a single unit almost twice the points of a knight. Then Eldari. Yeah. I don't know what this stratagem is. Phantasm stratagem target selection. Change to 1 Eldari infantry. So I guess it was just 1 Eldari unit before. And now it's 1 Eldari infantry unit. So, cool. I don't know what that is, but great news. Angels of Imperium. I think this is making the... Because this is like... Is the exaction squad? Is that the squad that was like 35 points for 5? Now it's a bit more. Now you have to take them in 10. Then change the first squad to say up to 2 of them. Yeah, so you can have 2 instead of, I guess, 1. They have shotguns. And I do like shotguns. Phantoms will let you move basically anything at the end of your opponent's movement phase. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I saw some people, like, when I was talking about the Screaming Raymond's being like, oh, you know, take an exaction squad, they're only 35 points. I'm glad, yeah, this is why you don't jump into that. Because they've also got nerf points-wise, right? They're like 100 points now. So they're actually, like, double bad. Death Guards, this is the interesting one. Death Guard, I think, have come out very, very well. 2 out of 10 RB2s instead of 2 out of 5 models. Nice. So, this is the detachment rule. I don't remember what the detachment rule did before. During the clear battle stage, set one of the sickness low until the end of the battle. All your units gain the selected sickness. And I think this is in addition to the -1 toughness. So, whilst within contained range, worsen the ballistics. And for some reason, it's kind of cutting off a bit. Can I zoom it in a bit more? Sorry, a bit better. Did nothing. Oh. Hello, Thunder. Yes, one enemy units within contained range, you get all BS and all ballistic skill and weapon skill is reduced by 1, or increased by 1. Worsen, basically. Oh yeah, they gave you sticky objectives. Objective to sickness aura around the objective. Yeah, that was it. Do they still have that? It's yeah, add to the following, so they still have that. Plus, so yeah, the sticky objectives now also do this shit. So it's either worse ballistic web skill, worse save characteristics, or worsen the leadership and objective control characteristic of the enemy unit by 1 to minimum 1. These are all very good. Yeah, it's because it's add to the following, they still have the sticky stuff. Change parentheses to the end of the current rule too, so enemy units within contained range of it will have their characteristics modified. I don't. Just put the rule here. Don't say change that paragraph. Put the paragraph right here, please. Yeah, so all 3 of those are great. Plus all the other stuff. I think whilst Death Guard aren't like the tanky boys they were before, they're spreading sickness. They're making you unwell. Death Watch. Dragonfire round stratagem. I don't know what this was before, but it looks like, yeah, they're all bolt weapons now. Was this just any weapons? I don't know. I guess this is the thing as well, actually, speaking of tankiness. You don't need to be tanky if nothing can bloody hit you. It was any weapons, now it's just bolt weapons, which seems to be a long list of weapons. But I guess it was because you could, I guess, add assault and ignores cover to, like, heavy weapons, right? So... to be honest, I don't know how that affects it because I don't play them, but... Yeah, that Bolt Watch. Death Bolt. I think T7 Plague Marines is far too much. Because they're T5 at the moment. But here's the thing, right? Let's think about this. Does T5 to set to T7 actually matter? Because a lot of the stuff you're going to shoot them at. This is the thing with weapons. A lot of weapons are either, like, outside of a few exceptions, they're either strength 4 or strength 8 and higher. So toughness 5 and toughness 7 doesn't really matter that much. it'll only affect like strength 6 weapons. Realistically, if you go from 5 to 7. Of which there aren't actually that many. And there's a decent amount of melee weapons that are 5, 6, and 7, but also no one's going yeah, because strength 5, they're already toughness 5. I think, like, yeah, Death Shrouds could be tankier, although they're already I think they're tanky enough compared to other stuff. I think it's now that you're probably also now lessening the strength, the weapon skill and ballistic skill of stuff around you. That's making you tankier by default. Because I think if you're starting to, because toughness 7 is like Custodes level, right? Custodes are like toughness 7 default. And I think that's going too far the other way. It is the Nurgle number. I think we'll see how it plays out. I don't see Death Guard going to a Horde army just because the points nerf. Here's the problem with, actually, I'll tell you why. It's because Death Guard didn't have enough stuff on the board anyway. They're actually, with the points nerfs, or the points buffs, sorry, they're going to be into just a position they should have been. When I played versus Steve, we had about the same number of models on the board. Maybe I even had, like, I think I even had more, slightly, because he took a few more Terminators. Now he's actually going to be able to field, more models. The only thing they could have think without just giving them a armor wide 5+7. Yeah, I think I like the idea of having Death Guard be tanky. I think they're still quite tanky. The other thing to consider is they're probably not very tanky because everything else was just overpowered. I reckon now that they can get a few more of them on the board, there might be a bit better. The other thing, actually, I'll say with Death Guard is, yes, there's a bunch of points nerfs, but there's also just a bunch of problems with Death Guard units in general. There was one, I can't remember which character it was, but it was like, oh, during your shooting phase, if you hit with this thing, the enemy has -1 strength to melee weapons. It's like, oh, great, okay, well, or it's like +1 to hit for melee or something, like, only in melee, though. And it's like, okay, great, well, I just won't go into melee with you there. So that was kind of useless. Whilst Thousand Suns had, oh, if I hit you with this, you explode and everything around you is completely the worst thing in the world. Or I remove all your armor saves. It's that kind of stuff where it doesn't really matter what the toughness of a Rubric Marine is. The rest of the army just isn't that interesting. You know what I mean? Your characters should be more interesting and give you stuff like -1 damage. Or maybe that's where they get your, rather than it being like, maybe instead of like +1 toughness, have that thing that they have on Terminators where it's like, if it's more than just your toughness, like have a character that you can add to a Plague Marine that means if there's more toughness than if there's more toughness than the strength is higher than toughness, they get -1 to wound, that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, that's the thing. Why are Death Guard a melee army? It makes no sense. Half their stuff was melee, and it's like, well, I'm just gonna not get into melee with you, sorry. So bad, so sad. It's a weird one. Like, I think they're going to be very, very good now, just because I think they've got like a lot of you can put more stuff on the board, and I think this Spread the Six is going to do quite well. But it's just the whole army needs a refresh. Like, just the whole thing needs to be rethought out. Like, all the characters are just kind of crap. That was actually one of the other things we thought about as well, was the Death Guard characters. If you kill the unit around them, they become worthless. If you kill the unit around, if you kill the Plague Marines around a Death Guard character, that Death Guard character is worthless. If you kill the Rubrics around a Thousand Suns character, great, you've just destroyed their body. You've just destroyed their dusty meat shield, their dusty shields. The characters are still amazing. Like, an Infernal Master. Oh no, you killed my 5 Rubrics. Okay, well, my Infernal Master's still incredible. Or Araman. Oh no, you've killed all my Rubrics. Well, Araman's still going to kill 2 Grey Knight Terminators with his staff. Which is why Thousand Suns got nerfed. GC the Cult. If your army faction reduces cult, each time a unit with it is destroyed, on a d6, roll a d6, adding 1 to the result if it's a battle line unit, and adding 1 to the result if it is the first or second battle round. On a 5+, add a new unit to your army identical to the destroyed unit in cult ambush, at its starting strength with all its wounds remaining. And you can place combat mode anywhere on the battlefield. What was this number before? That's the question. Was it 3+ before, and now it's 5, 4, or 3? Battle line was just 100% before. Yeah, that's a big... That's huge. But wait, it was just... Was it also all the time, so they literally just kept respawning? Like, you destroy it, it comes back, you destroy it, it comes back, and it just kept going and going? Because that seemed... yeah, that seems absurd. Yeah, okay, well, I mean, crazy. You could stomp the blip. Okay, there is a counter to it, I guess. Yeah, this seems interesting. Especially because I think they also got points nerfs. Battleline originally autoed, added +3 to the roll, I see. Yo, I mean, yeah, Eldar were just still absurd. Each time you use cult ambush setback, in addition to the normal rules, all its models must be set up wholly within 9 inches of the battlefield edge. What was this number before? Again, this is exactly the problem with going through this. Games Workshop, give us what this number was before. I don't know what this number was before. I shouldn't have to go look it up. You should just display it right here about what it was before. Like, how difficult is that? I need to, like, I want to be able to, as a layman person coming in to have a look at this, I want to be able to go, okay, what? I shouldn't have to learn every single rule in my head to be able to understand this, or go have like all the stuff open on another page. Like, I understand distillation squads because I know it, but I don't know this. But yeah, that's right. At least I'm streaming, so I can be like, hey chat, I'm stupid. What was this number before? But I shouldn't have to. Yeah, I feel like, and this is the other thing, right? With stuff like this, it's such a huge swing the other way. Like, clearly they had an idea of what they wanted, which was your battle line units refresh infinitely, your other stuff refreshes on a roll. Don't, like, lean into that. If that's your vision for the army and that's what people think is cool, so I think that does, as it is pretty cool, find a different way to nerf it. Now you've just kind of, yeah, it's a 3 to 5+. On a bad roll, suddenly your army's just worthless. Because the idea being, I guess it was to be similar to something like GITS, right? Where, yes, whilst you're paying 2,000 points, you're really getting 2,500 points worth of army in there because you can refresh them. But those refreshed units that keep coming in are worth not as much, but the fact you can keep having them and they keep appearing and forcing your opponent to try and destroy blip markers is, you know, that's the gameplay of it. Now you're just kind of like, oh, okay, well, yeah, not only is there counterplay with the blips, but also now you might just lose them. I feel like if they're going to go that way, that doesn't feel... And again, if you're going to nerf something like this, because this seems pretty hefty, don't also nerf the... I don't know if they did have any points changes, but don't also change the points. One or the other. I don't know what that was before. I don't really care. And I believe, yeah, this bondsman ability now only affects armigers. Again, I don't really know. I don't know. Again, I don't know. Also, why is this not red then? Why is this red but this not? Explain, Games Workshop. Red means... what's their wording? Where existing passages of rules text are present, new or revised sections are marked in red. Okay, so I'm getting out. I need to get my angry face on. That's the wrong one. There we go. My angry face is on now. I'm angry. Sure. Yeah. So red means there's a change to the existing text. The existing text here should have said whatever it was CP. This should be red. Even in your own stupid rule of just not marking what it was before, it should be red. Anyway, yes, it can change faces. I can do this. I can cross my arms. I can wear this. Because the person just made this. I just said, hey, make a random thing you think is cool, and they made this, which is cool. I can be angry. And I can be sad. And I can be... Hang on, let me put this out. Sad, angry. I can do all of them at the same time, which looks a bit weird. Am I normal? Nope, sad. Okay, I think I'm alright now. Yeah, this should be red. Based on your own rules, please. Come on now. Alright, the Leaves of Votan. Ruth officially change the first 2 paragraphs. Start the battle, select a number of units from your army, depending on the battle size. Okay? Each of those units start the battle with 2 judgment tokens. Okay? If at the start of any of your command phases, any of these units have been destroyed, you get a number of CP, no matter how early in the battle you destroyed it. As shown below. You didn't show it because it's somewhere else. I don't know what that original rule was, so I guess this is a buff. I don't know. Like, it used to just be 1, and now it's 4. Jesus. If at the start of any of your command phases, any of those units have been destroyed. So it doesn't count if you... So this is interesting. Because the way it's worded is that you actually want to then spread these out over the course of the game. Because if you destroy all 4 in one turn, you only get 1. You only get the actual benefit of having only killed 1. So you actually want to kill 1 per turn to get the maximum benefit. Which I like. No idea actually if that's going to benefit them, but whatever. And then Desolation Squad. This one is very, very interesting. They're now only 5, and I know they're only 200 points, so they've got a pretty significant point nerf, and you can only take them in 5s. I get it. You're going to get the CP once. I think you get it. If at the start of any of your command phases, any of them have been destroyed, you gain a number of CP. So... Are there any of your command phases? The way I'm reading this, I think, is if so, let's say start of your parentheses. Oh, I fell into the classic blunder of part reading stuff. Yes, you can only gain the CP in this battle once. So I should know this as a DM in D&D. This is the kind of stuff that you teach players pretty quick. You go like, look. When they're getting confused, they read it word for word, and it will probably tell you whether you can do it or not. And I just didn't do that, where if I just read it word for word, I would have read, you can only gain CP in this way once. So, yeah, reading the rule explains the rule. Turns out. The great buff basically getting 3 extra units on 2 tokens instantly, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the full rule is because I haven't got it, but I'll have to have a look. Yeah, Desolation Squad, I do understand this. I think Desolators are still good. You still have to pay a premium for them, and you can't buff them up with as many. You can't have like a unit of 10 with a buffed up character. So yeah, I think that's fine. I had Desolation or Desolators in my I don't like they're called Desolation Marines. Just call them Desolators. I have Desolators in my I had Desolators in my Screamer list, but I never built them. And one of the things I was going to do today was actually build Desolators, but I'm actually not going to bother now because I just think I'm going to take a bunch more Dreadnoughts. Yeah, let's have a look at that. The points. So Make that a bit bigger so we can see. I'm gonna have to. Here's the thing I really don't like is that I have no idea if it's actually been buffed or nerfed, because guess what? They don't show you what they were before, but we can kind of guess. Did you fit in Centurions? Yeah, Centurions have also been buffed. They're 150 now. They were 165, so more Centurions. I was kind of umming and ahhing about whether to go like 3 or 6 Centurions. Now it's a fairly easy thing to just go 6. So I know they got 6 judgment tokens at some point. Changes? Yeah, I guess so. Let's have a look. Sisters. So I know most of these are buffs except the Crusaders, which are nerfs. As far as I understand it. I know that, where are they? These have been buffed. Yeah. Lots of points, lots of numbers. No idea what they were before, but it seems like pretty good. Any Sisters players out there? I think if, Christian, if you're still in chat, I think you're a Sisters player. I don't know if this makes any difference. But, I guess this is probably what I'll do for armies I don't know. I'll be like, any players of this army want to let me know what they think? Because I don't know. I like the Paragon Warsuits. I think they're cool. Most of them are just slight number 4. Yeah, I think they just got a slight buff, but no rule changes. What is the Sisters rule? It's still Miracle Die, isn't it? I actually should probably work that out. Triumph was fun though, was 150 before Triumph. Oh, big point up. Army's still bad. Yeah, Melter Strength 8 really hurts. Fair enough. Right. Custodians, these are the buffs, so yeah. Or the nerfs. Because yeah, I think these you could take in 4 or 5 or 10 or whatever. Now you can only take in 4 or 5. Yeah, 420 points for 6 models, 250 for. Because these two are the non-Terminators. These are the Terminators, aren't they? And then these are Sisters of Silence models. I believe the Bikers got better, right? This is a buff. Adventure of Valorous at 160 seems pretty cheap. But again, I don't know. Custodes players, help me. I know there's a lot of nerfs, and obviously you got nerfed in terms of your 4+++. Whatever, so give me your info. Most golden bananas nerf banana bikes, rhinos, and girls are cheaper. Okay. Benatari got cheaper. Jump pack guys. Benatari are they Forge World guys? Benatari. Yeah. Yeah, don't know. I don't know enough about. Unfortunately, I don't know about Custodes. Admech. To look at some of these points, like how much is a Rangers? So a block of Rangers is 90 and a block of Vanguard's 80. Custodes players be like, what if Space Marines were wide? They are just wide, aren't they? 60 points for a Sidonian Dragoon seems pretty cool. Just based on what I know about them. What was the other ones called? They're called Dragoons? No, Dragoons are the ones I just looked at. I'm sorry, Ballistari. They didn't get changed, I see. The Vanguards, yeah, 8 points per model, 9 points per model. Rangers were 120. Damn. Yeah, 120 for a 5+6++ seems absurd. Disintegrators went down to 180. Rangers were 125 and Vanguard were 100. So yeah, big nerfs here. What was the Sitari Marshal before? Like, I'm gonna guess he was probably like 50 or something. Yeah, seems like, I think AdMech, apart from 45, okay. Breachers and destroyers prices. Yeah. Just in general for AdMech players, how are you feeling about this? Rather than kind of going through each point by point, what's the feeling here? What's your list looking like now? My day's going alright, General Quack. How's your day going? Hope everything's well. This is the main problem with the delay, is I ask a question, I've got to wait like a minute before anything happens. Feels like they put a plaster over a very large hole. Oh, that's fair. I really just I don't understand their army rule. The rad bombardment thing just seems kind of boring and weird. Like, obviously it was far too complicated before, but hey ho. As I'm a player, it looks as though we might get too much into a horse direction with the points direction. Yeah, actually, the AdMech book's pretty soon, isn't it? It's like around Necron. It's like after Space Marine, or just like after something else after Space Marine? Something like that, I can't remember. Most of the players I've seen is that they don't like their expensive army in dollars. It's now cheaper, yeah. AdMech is a very pricey army. They wrote in AdMech to start reducing some random moves at the start of the game, yeah. Horde direction, that makes more sense. I was trying to work out what horse direction meant. I thought maybe that was just a, maybe you were talking about like the dragoons or something. I know these like dogs, but, next up this winter, that makes sense. Who gives a... There was nothing changed here, and also who's playing... The only thing you can play in a 2K point game is the Warhammer Titan. Like, why are you here? Get out of my sight. I mean, I really mean bring that stuff. Alright, Eldari. They're just... It's nerfs, right? Enough nerfs? No idea. I think, didn't Fire Prism go up like 60 points or something? Something crazy? Wraith Knights are now 510, because people were taking like 2 or 3 of them, because they were absurd. Alrighty. Fire Prism 125, so yeah, that's a huge nerf. Armor Bomb is a detachment rule, not their armor rule. What's their army rule then? Wraith Knights were 370? Jesus. Right, here's the thing with Eldari compared to the other things that were nerfed. Like the Fire Prism and Wraith Knight, right? They've been heavily nerfed and they were being used a lot. But there's so much other stuff in this. Like they got 2 pages worth of stuff with Forge World. Like there's probably other stuff in here that's fine. Just drive. Were you going for much longer? Yeah, probably a little bit. We've got to go through the rest of this bloody document and then show some more stuff off. Oh, I need to comment of the week, which I'll somehow try and pull up. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll just tell you what the comment was. I'm so sorry how the points of Azimuth and Dark Reapers. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even Drukari got nerfed with the Sins of Eldari, so just It's just that kind of, it's just that kind of level. Yeah. I don't think there'll be any Eldari players in chat because they don't want to show themselves for all the pain they've caused, so we'll move on. Agents of the Imperium, I think we've seen some of this stuff. So yeah, the Exaction Squad is no longer... you can't take them in 5s anymore for 35 points, and it's also 110. You also get a free dog, which is nice. This is just confusing. I'm not even going to bother trying to work out what the hell all this shit is. Yeah, some point nerfs. Don't really... Not too bothered. Right, any boring people in here who play Imperial Guard, I apologize. But the joke in the 1 year video was specifically aimed at someone I know. Who is part of the British Army and plays Imperial Guard. I think a lot of this is buffs. There were very few unit profile changes. Like, I think the only ones were basically like the admit ones, right? But God got tank and infantry discounts if it wasn't indirect. Yeah, so a lot of tanks seem to be better, like points wise. Let's have a look at Lehman Russ. How much is Lehman Russ costing you? 180. Why are there like... I didn't realize there were so many Lehman Russ variants. Why not? Well, I guess you can't have just like Lehman Russ and a bunch of different weapon choices, because otherwise you'd have like you could only take 3 Lehman Russes. With this you could take 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, right? But what I care about for Guard is that Tempestus Scions went down, which is good. Yeah, every turret is a variant, because if you didn't have every turret as a variant, you could only take 3 Lehman Russes. And I think you'd probably want to take as many as you wanted, right? Like, you could basically take 10 of the... you could take... on average, you could take, like, 10. Which is fun. Would you? No idea. Yeah, so Tempestus Scions there have been buffed. Needing line of sight to Overwatch affects some of the indirect G's a bit. Yeah, that makes sense. I think indirect Overwatch is kind of garbage anyway, so... Also, what is this? 9 to 10 or 18 to 20? I guess this is based on how much you get in a box, but my god, that's the most... Just neaten some of this up. 10 or 20? Stop this. Unless there's a good reason for Imperial Guard specifically for this, stop this nonsense. I play Steel Legions as 10 Russes, yes. Yeah, everyone, go make a silly list with like 10 Lehman Russes. I mean, it's probably more than that, right? Because you get 3 of these. It's essentially for each 3, you're losing another. So let's say on average it's another 30. Can't possibly work that out in my head. I believe they do that for heavy weapons and infantry units. Understood. That makes sense. I used to play Imperial past. I'm also a human fighter in a current D and group come at you. You're boring. Boo this man. Human fighter. Boo. I know human fighter you can do a lot with, because it's like it's basically a blank slate that you can do a lot of different stuff with, rather than having to kind of, you know, deal with the baggage that comes with choosing a race that isn't human, like elves are gonna live forever and whatever. But also you could have been a dragon dude and you chose not to, and therefore I judge you. Like, to be fair, one of the better characters that I've DM'd for has been a human fighter, actually. They were a rune knight, not a battle master at least, but I'm gonna come out and say it. Variant human fighter, or variant human, shouldn't exist. That 3 feet is it's boring. Boo this man. Oh, darn, this is defense system or support. They are way more interesting than Katie and Kassakan. Yeah. I mean, all of the humans are gonna die eventually. What about Roman man? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. A lot humans are in D&D. We're going off on a massive tangent here. Humans in D&D are very, very good because you can do a lot of stuff with them. They're basically a blank slate. You can really put a lot of different stuff into the background because they're so just like generic and varied. Like again, like I say, with elves, you have to consider the fact that they live forever as part of your backstory. You know, dwarves, you got to consider like that kind of stuff with halflings or whatever. And the feat is very, very useful because the feat allows you to really kind of like tweak your build. But also, just as from a personal perspective, I just can't do it. I just can't be a human. But I can't be a human in real life because I'm not very good at it. So allows you to do builds early game, which is my games beyond level 6. Yeah, I mean these are all very fair points, but also have you considered something else? How did you build it? And that is the other thing, I guess, right? Yeah, if you're playing a game which you want to have a bit more grounded, like human is very good because yeah, it's very easy to know who it's D&D, and it's very easy to know who the party is. Oh, it's the ones with all the it's the 4 dudes who aren't human. It's the tiefling, the dragonborn, the gnome, and the half orc. Oh yeah, what do they do? They're adventurers. They're the main characters. But it is D&D, so you kind of like allow that for a little bit. Like my current character that I'm playing is a goblin, a female goblin ranger who likes birds because I like birds. And she's a lot of fun to play. My defense, my gnome artificer dies. They're all 2 characters, supposed to be a local person. Very fair. And gnome artificer sounds like a lot of fun. Again, it's one of the things with D&D where obviously like everyone has a different view on how things should be played, and I honestly don't mind like if people play humans because yeah, it's very I'm being very tongue-in-cheek about the human thing. Same with the Imperial Guard. If you like Imperial Guard, absolutely great. Like I can imagine tanks being super fun. I'm being very tongue-in-cheek, but also, have you considered being a cute goblin and shooting things with a crossbow you don't know how to use, and having bird friends? Because that's my vibe. I think you improve on this on-the-fly live content massively in a short period as someone who recently started a research for Java and no, it's not easy. Oh, thank you. Mostly it's just me shitposting about D&D apparently. 5e is a commodity early edition, so most people play it. Well, this is the thing, is 5e much like, because people come out and say stuff like, you know, about Warhammer, so, oh, the other games are better or whatever, but the thing is 5e is very approachable and very kind of malleable. So I can see why people, like with 5e, a lot of the sessions will sometimes just basically not roll that much because we're just doing, we're just role playing, right? But some people want to have more meaty dungeon crawlers, so 5e is really, really good to actually like, you know, introduce people into role playing, get through it, and that kind of stuff. And human is a great way to start because human are very, very simple. You can do a lot of stuff with them. The feats are always nice. And D&D is just great. I just love D&D. I love DMing. I love playing with friends. Aarakocra. Yeah, I've never played an Aarakocra. I've always been worried about the fly part as much as I like birds. And bird people aren't super my vibe as much as I think they're cool. Why do you need to make overconfident shit? And I think you also said, have you considered less is more? But have you considered the holy Mew? That I'm playing a goblin girl who's super cute and really chirpy and is annoying everyone. Have you considered I couldn't do that if I was a human? I've been playing D&D for 14 years and I've played everything pretty much. Yeah, like 5e's good. I like 5e. Being a human in real life, I can say it's overrated. Very true. But if you consider that being a boring human is interesting if everyone else isn't human, yeah, this is the thing, right? Is if you're and again, you can be a standard human and have an interesting backstory, like with a lot of interesting, like, you know, features and whatever. You don't have to be like, you know, you don't have to be a boring human. However, fuck humans. No. Like for example, I played a tiefling character called Theo. His name was Theodore Leopold Darius Raventhorn. And his whole thing was that he did not like being a tiefling, so he acted as a human. Like rules-wise, obviously he was a tiefling, but like also I wasn't using the human rules, but I was playing as him as a human. So technically, kind of, you know, bit of both. So, and like I've said, you could make a very interesting human character. One of my friends played a human fighter called Blanche, who was very, very interesting. Yeah. So again, it's one of those things where if you're like, again, depending on the vibe of the campaign, right? Like I wanted to do a campaign where everyone is just a human, like a very, very low magic campaign where everyone is just a human. And it's pretty much like everyone's just like a dude. And it's similar to, like, I guess, like the hobbits from Lord of the Rings, right? Like, you're going through this world where, like, things can kill you. Obviously, D&D's probably not the best. That's probably a different game thing, but if 5e reflects well, that's really its best feature. Yeah, that's the thing. 5e is very, very good for introducing people. I think I missed something. D&D, I think, would work with my character's backstory and personality most. Though I usually default to human because most times story compared to elves. Yeah, that's the thing. Is humans... A human in D&D can basically... is basically just purely malleable into whatever backstory you want, and that's the best part about humans, is they can basically be any backstory, which is great. However, like let's put it this way: my current character, Ruffle, she could have been a human, but I thought it would be like there's more I could do with her being a goblin by not having her be part of like the normal like world or whatever. And the world that is being designed that we're playing is a homebrew one, so it's a majority human and elf world. So the other characters are half elves or elves, so they actually do fit in with the world. I'm the only one standing out, so that works a lot. If we were all like goblin, tiefling, dragonborn, it would be more weird. So I think it works quite well. And again, the thing with D&D you've got to consider is making sure that you are it is a collaborative game, right? So if your party wants to be all wacky people, then go for it. If your party wants to be more, you know, grounded and wants different backstories that they want to put into a human, then go for it. And again, it's just making sure that you're working together to create the best game that you can. Humans have short lives and therefore more prone to yielding to their personal ambition. That's the thing. That's one of the other things as well with stuff like. This is the thing with. I'm gonna get far too into it. I might do an entire I could do an entire stream about this kind of stuff, or an entire video about this kind of stuff. If you start to consider stuff like elves and how they live for 600 years, it really breaks down. Like it really just goes off the rails. Like, and just magic in general. Just think about a cantrip. Just think about prestidigitation. You no longer need to wash anything. You no longer need to cook anything, because you can heat anything. You can make it taste like anything. As long as it has nutrition, you can basically just have slop, and then just be like, okay, we've got slop that I can flavor and heat to whatever I want to do. I can clean it up. Like, prestidigitation breaks the game, breaks the world. So don't think about it too much. Have you considered that being a human is not boring or bland, only if you make sense? Very, very good point. But also, have you considered that goblin girls are cool? Yeah, hi Gaming Gecko. Apologies, we've got into a bit of a tangent, an ADHD tangent here about D&D. It's D&D stream now. The points have changed. We've already on. This is all spawned on the fact that Astra Militarum are just dudes in tanks. I understand you can do that with any race of species, but maybe I should re-examine how I look at the character reflavor someone I default to human into any. Yeah, that's the thing, right? So the reason that Goblin makes more sense for my character is because she has to be like a nomad or be outside of the standard convention. Like, she grew up in a forest, essentially, right? So she would have to be some sort of forest dwelling, like, not generally considered social creature. The goblin works pretty well. But again, I could have chosen the backstory. The reason I went with this specifically is actually I for this campaign, I rolled the stat. I re-roll stats because we're crazy. What I did is, rather than I'd roll the standard, you know, 4d6, drop the lowest, but I did them in order. So the first roll would be strength, the second roll would be dexterity, etc., etc. The dice obviously know that int is a dump stat, so it made my int low, and then it gave me good stats to be a range. Basically, I built the character around the stats that I was given. So that is one thing you got to be careful of, is you come into a game is like, I want to play this really cool paladin, but then you roll shit and you can't have all the things you want, then you're kind of stuffed. So I wanted to try doing essentially chaos rolls straight down the thing and then work out a character from there, and I built out this goblin. Alexander the Great was a human. Was he boring? Yeah, they're all boring. If they had been dragon... Put it this way, Holy Meme, you're actually arguing yourself out of this. Holy Meme, if those people were dragons, would they not be cooler? Check and mate. Have you considered about making content about D&D? Yeah, oh, this is content about D&D, I guess. Don't have 5 minutes while I talk about D&D. I'm blaming everyone else. There's no doubt about Paul's ADD. Yeah. Something I found out recently, actually, about speaking... We're going on a tangent of a tangent, but very briefly, Thunder. ADD doesn't exist anymore. ADD is a misnomer. It's ADHD. Everything is ADHD now. They changed that a couple of years ago, apparently. Do a D&D TTRG video, it'll be good. Yeah, sounds like I'm considering it. Good sir, it's a disgraced commoner who hopes to return to glory and make the death of the company boring. That's not boring, but if they were a dragon person or a goblin girl, they would be cooler. This is actually the other thing, Fractus. You say introduce the word of Eberron. Much like with Warhammer, I don't know any lore about like the main D&D worlds, like Eberron or what's the one from Baldur's Gate that they're doing? Forgotten Realms. I don't know the lore because I've always made my own. D&D has always been a thing for me creatively where I can make my own world. That's what I like about D&D. I've never played, apart from a very brief period where I played a bit of Curse of Strahd, I've never played like a written campaign because I just love the world building aspect. I just can't not. I have to be able to make my own world and control my own world because I'm a control freak, essentially. People don't really know how people would act if they lived that much longer. Yeah, that's the thing. It's if you live to 600 years old, this is the thing you got to consider. If you're an elf player character and you're starting at level like 1, you wouldn't be 100 years old. You'd be about the same age as humans because they range about the same age. But you've got to consider that your character is going to outlast like 6 humans essentially. Chef Mage, please. You can play Chef Mage. Theo, my tiefling was a wizard. He was the one that could do portent, which is a great skill. I put Pathfinder Call of Cthulhu over D&D. I've played Call of Cthulhu before. I really do like it. I've not played Pathfinder before. I have played the Pathfinder games. Pathfinder seems cool. It seems very crunchy though. The thing that I like about D&D, I think because I'm much more of a role-playing and like social player more than the actual like killing stuff player. Like I don't do many. If I do combats, they're few and far between because I want them to be special. I want them to be story based. I'm very much a story person. Sometimes the beauty in something I'd find that is fleeting. A fire is beautiful because it's fine at a rocket, and a rock which will never move. Yeah, I mean this is the thing, right? It's just very interesting. Are goblins really that much more interesting? I mean, they're not even unique to D&D, and they're pretty much in every fantasy world. Why play boring common and goblin? Why not turtle? Yeah, again, your level of how boring something is will vary, right? Like a goblin in this campaign is interesting because they're very rare. But yeah, are goblins that interesting? I guess as player characters they can be because they are kind of normally considered the just standard level 1 go kill a monster. But again, also goblin girls are cool. Pathfinder 2 is better than D&D 5e. I've not played. I do want to play Pathfinder 2, but again, it's finding time to play. I've had like a year break of D&D, and because everyone knows D&D that I play with, it's easier to say, hey, let's play a game of D&D. If we want to just kind of do the whole role-playing, building a world thing, it's easy to do that and have to go through and relearn a new game, right? Which is, again, this is similar to, again, going back to Warhammer to keep things slightly on topic. It's tricky to get people into new games because once you've learned one very complicated game, it's difficult to get them to learn another, especially with something like Pathfinder, which I think is quite crunchy. You're a braver man than me. You use point buy. Nah, I always roll. Always got to roll. I mean, again, it's one of those things where yes, in a world like if one of your players has rolled super high and everyone else hasn't rolled as well, that super high player is going to like overtake things. But again, it's all about collaboration. And also I just find rolling interesting because the rolling gives your characters character. And again, like I say, I rolled like pretty well apart from int, which means my cute little goblin girl is kind of dumb, but not stupid. She's got high wisdom, so she picks up things really well. Like she learns quite a lot of languages just by listening, and learns a lot of stuff just by listening, but isn't very good at, like, you know, she's not book smart, right? And a lot of that I think is all about, you know, you have an idea for your head for a character, and when you roll, it kind of informs some stuff. And I think rolling, and again, this is from someone who is very much more of a, I'm not a, I would rather have like a character with like terrible stats and try and work around that for whatever reason, rather than try and like very opposite to one of my good friends of mine, who's been in the chat before, called Boople. They're very much on the other side. Like they will want to make sure they will want to, you know, get good stat crunching to make sure that they got some good stats. I'm completely the opposite. But again, it's all, you know, like you say, always do point buy. I never do point buy. I always roll. I always roll for health as well, which is great because I rolled really well for health for Ruffle. She's got, so I literally, so we start at level 3, and my goblin has literally 1 health less than the maximum she could possibly have, which is great. Faerun, yeah, Faerun, Eberron, all those things. I've always used homebrew campaigns since college. Well, this is on D&D. I do a little bit of homework. Yeah, that's what I like about, because I've done several campaigns within my same world, and it all feeds into it. The problem with that is you can only make things once, and if you make a mistake, then you've kind of stuffed it. You can retcon, of course, because it's your world, but I try not to do too much. Think of our age relationship dogs when you think of elves. Yeah, I just remember, if you've seen Invincible, I won't spoil it if you haven't seen the show Invincible, but for those who have seen Invincible, you know. If you know, you know. If you've seen Invincible, you know. And the Guardians are men and women from every world, each regiment. It's interesting because how familiar it is, for example, Rough Rider, Monger. Yeah. I can definitely see why Astra Militarum is interesting. So again, finally go back to a bit of a thing, but it's like, yeah, it's, yeah, being a human in 40k is interesting, right? If you're trench warfaring against a demon, you're an interesting character. You're a dead character, but you're an interesting character. I'll be slightly myself still level 1 at 100 years. I mean, to be fair, like, if you're just kind of if you're a very, very good, here's the thing with D&D, if you're a very, very good baker, that doesn't give you any levels, that can give you XP. You'll still be level 1. You might be the best baker in the world at 100 years old, best elvish baker ever, but you're still level 1 because you haven't gone out and killed anything. I've heard the word Goblin Girl more than times of that you've had your whole life. But I'm glad to have a bit of service. Okay, I just lost my army 80 points short and I can't find anything to get back to 50,000 points. Yeah, that is one of the things, is there's going to have to be tweaks to punishment. Pathfinder 2, kind of about the same as 5e. Fair enough. Dragon Man in Dungeons & Dragons has the same issues that you could claim Human Fighter suffer from. Yeah, but have you considered that they look cool? Blue Spike I need more arguments for goblins. Yeah, more goblin. Rolling works. Yeah, this is rolling does work till it doesn't. We've tried a few different things to kind of keep things fair, but I think that because sometimes we're just like, we don't, especially this campaign is like kind of lighthearted, so we don't really care. It's fine to roll. So I think if you're kind of, especially if you're introducing players, you want to keep people on the same level. Yeah. I love showing a character around mechanics. I mean, that's absolutely fair. A lot of people do. Which I have done, to be fair. My character is basically based around her mechanics. Like, she's a Swarmkeeper Ranger, but rather than having like the ethereal birds, she's just a very friendly goblin who has made friends with birds. So birds just appear around her to do things for her. Which again, kind of character around mechanics, right? Like in the combat we did. You know, I flavoured the fact that she was so short that she couldn't see over the direwolf's body that was dead to see the wolf behind it, so a bird lifted the wolf up so she could shoot it. Stuff like that that's the stuff I like. One player will have really high stats and one will not, even in a social situation. Yeah, as a DM, what I did once, I think when I first started, so I had it was roll, but you had to get a certain total. to kind of keep things bounded, which works a little bit. It allows you to do that rolling thing to, you know, kind of feel your character, get a bit of variety in there. It also means that we're not having such a massive, like, swing. How to play? Yeah, I mean, when I rolled, it was 15, 14, 11, 8, 14, 14. So pretty good across the board with rolls. In title card, yeah. I feel like maybe I should build something more minis while watching. I primed a set of crisis suits this morning. Nice. Yeah, I think that, like, if one person has a higher 13 and one person has a lower 15, then yeah, as a DM you kind of go, okay, the person who's 13 gets to reroll. Like, you gotta, like, rolling is fine, but obviously if you don't want people to be, like, split so far apart, right? They look cool perhaps, but so do humans. Have you seen the Napoleon War uniforms and Roman knights and leathers? Yeah, but could you consider that you could have a goblin girl in the same clothes? You are losing the Holy Emu. You will not play a human this day. A functional is a way that works with my character's backstory as well as that aids their mechanic. The reason I don't like doing that personally is, like, the paladin example, basically anything which needs multiple different things. Like a paladin needs, like, strength and charisma and constitution or whatever. If you roll, don't, like, well, again, actually, if you roll, it's a more of a thing. If you don't roll and you're doing point buy, then actually it doesn't matter. But if you roll like me, then sometimes, yeah. Yeah, 70. I think I did basically between 70 to 80. Between 70 and 80 to bound it. I like how rolling gives you some random stat line. Oh, I got 2 super low ones, and my character's super weak. Yeah, that's what I like rolling, because, again. But again, this is the thing where some people are going to be, you know, some people are going to be more one side, something about the other. It's very, very interesting. Like, again, some people do like a min-max group, they're like a dungeon crawl, some people don't. And you can mix and match. Like, again, the friend I play with, he's very much a min-maxer, I'm very much a social player, but we actually play quite well together. Because he still does the social stuff, and I still do the fighting stuff. And again, it's all about, because D&D is all about collaboration, basically, right? People, what's up with your obsession with the Goblin Girls? I've been playing a Goblin Girl recently. I think they're cool, right? And if you're not down with that, then that sounds like a skill issue for you, not for me. Yeah, when you're considering the kind of low high thing, right? Again, it depends on the player. I could probably play a game where my high is 13 in a group of 15s. Like, you could build a character around that, but again, depending on your, it can also suck. I've been in situations where, like, I've seen some characters and been like, damn, this guy's just better than the rest, and it's just not, like, in combats especially, it's not that interesting. I think a lot of it comes down to, especially if you're something like a rogue or like a bard or something where you're both very, very, if you've rolled high but your main thing is like you're a fighter, then I think the main thing is it's all around how you want what you want your character's kind of purpose to be, right? If you're a fighter and you want your character's purpose to be you're strong and you can hit stuff, and your highest roll is 13 and someone's lowest roll is 15 and they're a wizard, that wizard is stronger than you and therefore kind of pushes you out of the party, which you can play around. That could be your character arc, but also you level so slowly that you'll never actually go through that character arc. So you have to kind of have a fairly silly character. I want to play a campaign where everyone is kind of playing an equal amount of that character, and you want everyone to succeed fairly evenly, everyone to kind of have a fighting chance at having a shining moment, then it is a problem. But again, you can still work all, you know, in like it's all about it's player preference at the end of the day. Like, I think the thing between here with games and Fratis here is essentially it's two different games, two different people who could play in two different ways, and both of them are valid. And that I think is the beauty of D&D, is that it's all perfectly valid depending on what you want to play and what your things want to do. So like, it's just and again, you can go from game to game, like, you know, even with the high, someone's highest 15, someone's lowest 13, that person with the lowest 13 can shine by potentially being like the last man standing. That would be like the perfect, like, character arc for them. Would be that the other players who all had massively good stats all went down, and he was the one who like stood his ground and got some good rolls. But again, it's unlikely. But again, it's one of those things that you could play into, and it would be an amazing moment. But it's like, it's all about expectations, right? Especially as a DM, you've got to set those expectations early about what you're expecting from the campaign. Like this campaign I'm in, Session 0 is like, this is not a super serious campaign. But if you've seen the comic, we get shared a lot of it's like Slappy, the Furbolg rogue who's raised by clowns, right? Like, oh yeah, I throw pies, and then Session 40 he's like, no, don't, please, Slappy. Yeah, a moment like that is very again, if you're playing a campaign, if you're not planning for that, it's hard to engineer. But if you roll that stuff up and the person who rolls on 13 goes, no, hang on a second, I think I can work with this, then you could work with them to do something like that. You wouldn't even have to engineer it. You would just have to, like, it would just be a waiting game. Because the opposite could happen. That player with like a bunch of 13s could die because they're crap. But what's good about it is then you've got this character who, they were a plucky upstart who tried to, got ahead of themselves. They get to reroll a new character, but there's still moments you can have with it. But again, if it's not a thing you want to work with, you don't have to. You can just say, okay, reroll, or we won't roll, we'll do point buy. I agree between DM and player, although I do DM more than, it's always a laugh. Yeah, that's the thing. It depends on, like, it depends. Engineering in moments nearly never works, but you've just got to look out for the opportunities. Okay, it's a personal thing. Goblins and dragons don't hit the spot for me, but at night, yeah, that's exactly right. Like, I like playing monstery creatures. I just kind of like having, being a tiefling or a dragonborn or a goblin or that kind of stuff is interesting to me. I like playing those kind of characters because, again, I just think they look cool. I think they're fun to play. You can have some fun with them. I think I only ever played like a human once. I think it was the first time I played D&D. It was just to try it. And talk about the human things of Warhammer. What about the Citizens of Sigmar? Yeah, again, yeah. I don't find Astra Militarum that interesting. As CT says, what is a data slate? Let's get back to that. I don't find Astra Militarum that interesting because first, I don't want to have to paint a bunch of army men. Two, I'm not that interested in the tanks. I'd rather just play something else. Now, not to keep going on about it, but railroading, that's a whole, we won't get into it now, but railroading is fine. There is no problems with railroading. I'm just going to give you that hot take, and then we're going to carry on with this data slate. Black Templars. I think they're all buffs. And again, with Blood Angels, they're probably all buffs. I think they're probably done alright. Chaos Demons, I think these are mostly buffs. I think there might be a couple of nerfs in here. I feel like the only way I'll have a tank over here, I can paint Cube Goblin, but I can't paint is the problem. And also I should just play an Orc. Everything but the Gladiator lads. And the Chaos Demons. Just finished another set of Elovoras and I'm heading to my Berserks. Nice. Chaos Knights, I think these are nerfs? I can't remember. I'm probably just going to jump to... I'm just going to jump to Drukhari because... let's start Death Guard as well because these are pretty heavy buffs. This used to be like 370. Mortarion... The difference between Mortarion and Magnus was... it was 40 points and now it's 115. Mortarion used to be 370. Magnus used to be 410 and now it's 325 and 440. It's huge. Yeah, pretty much like across the board buffs as well as their new thing. I think yeah, Plague Marines at 80 and now Rubrics are 105. I think big swings. Deathwatch, sure. Drukhari, pretty much all buffs apart from the Ravager, which is rightfully nerfed, probably over nerfed maybe, but 95 was absurd. But everything else has been buffed. Will it help? I don't think so. Your issue is yes, you've got 80 point Incubi, Drazar's only 90. I think the Succubus is only like 50 now or something. Yeah, so this... A Succubus, which is in a Blood Dancer, used to be 200 points, and now it's 100... what's this? 110, 165, which is very, very nice, but... it's still on a bunch of stuff that's not very useful, is the problem. Scourges did get buffed and also nerfed. So Scourges, if you remember, used to be like, I think it was 120 for 5 and 200 for 10 because the extra 5 you would get wouldn't be able to get any special weapons. Now it's 110 for 5, but it's a full price for another 5. Basically means you're never... No one ever took 10 models of Scourges anyway, now you're never doing that. Because why would you take a squad of 10 Scourges when you could take 2 squads of 5 and get special weapons? This just seems a bit silly. Yeah, the Chronoses, the fact that they're still 50 points is excellent news. I'm surprised Grotesques didn't get any buffs, but that's fine. Your Raiders and your Venom didn't get buffed, that's fine. Talos didn't get buffed or nerfed, which is good. Cabalite buffs, great news. Yeah, you caught the Archon plus Cabalite plus Archon is saving money. Saving points. I think they'll be okay. I think Drukhari were okay-ish. I think now they'll probably be decent. Gene Stealer Cults. This is the problem, I think, compared to Eldari, is obviously there's not as many things here. They all got nerfed. Eldari can pivot to something else. Gene Stealer Cults can't. So I think is it your hybrids and your acolytes and your neophytes are your line. So yeah, 90, 180, 85, 100. Yeah, so these things now can't infinitely respawn, and you're paying a premium. So I don't know. That feels a little sad. I think Grey Knights have some buffs. I'm kind of skipping through now because here's the problem. I just don't know enough. Literally everything in League of Votann was changed. I know there's some League of Votann's players in chat as well. Big changes. I mean, I think this was quite expensive before. Weren't these like 14 points a model before? Now they're 11. Where's the Hunker Junk? Yeah, 225. That used to be like... Yeah, GC Cult's got pretty bad. Yeah. It's sad that this building out went paid to... Yeah, I mean, we knew it was coming. They said it would come. I still don't think they should. But that's because I like free stuff. I was able to put an entire squad of Berserks. Alright, and then what's that? Berserk... So, yeah, 100 points, essentially. Necrons didn't get many changes, but I think Necron Warriors got cheaper. I think these are cheaper. Silent King got cheaper, I know that. They got cheaper. The where are the bastards? Where are you? Don't hide from me. I know where you live. What are they called? I actually don't remember what they're called now. The ones with the shields. I know. Oh, the Reanimator got nerfed. They're called Lich Guard. Yeah, these guys got nerfed as well. Rightfully so. Lich Guard were fucking annoying. But League don't have a problem with doing damage. More low damage is not a solution, maybe. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's weight of dice, right? It's like getting attack speed without getting any attack damage. I can do I can do no damage very fast. Are we angry? I think we're more angry about D&D than anything. I think I made a lot of people angry when I said that humans were boring. And that I roll for stats, and that railroading is not a problem. I feel like I've made a lot of enemies. But also, have you considered that you're wrong? Yeah, Lichguard. Yeah, fuck Lichguard. they should have been nerfed. The fact that, I mean, yeah, when I played versus them, the fact that I killed 13 of them and there were 9 left at the end of the game was just annoying. So Sodom. Orcs. I think most things got buffed. I think maybe the trucks got nerfed. Yeah, we're not gonna get back into it, Adam Fisher. Don't worry. we're not retreading that. I'll make a video about it and we can argue in the comments. Or we can argue on Discord tomorrow because I'll go to bed after this. But I'll tell you that you're wrong. Yeah, orcs, 1 spanner and 4 burner boys. One of the questions I got for the 1-year anniversary video was like an army that I could, like, if I could just have an army, like a new army just appear, basically like a new army appear around the board, would it be? I think orcs would actually be the one, because orcs are pretty cool. It's weird that Gretchen come in 11 and 22. I'm sure there's a reason for that, but yeah, the problem with trying to start shit about D&D is obviously I'm 30 seconds ahead of you, so by the time I've said something, and then I've said let's not talk about it anymore, you're replying to the thing I said. Yeah. What's about a unit with 20 wounds with 3+ armor, 4+ in, 5+ fame with attack master, 2 resource, and therefore no fame? Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Is Discord for patrons? Yeah, the Discord's only for patrons. For a patron, I don't have. So you just have to work that out. There's no Patreon. You can, the Discord link should just be in the description. So come join in Discord. I think, I'm gonna check. I believe there is a tabletop RPG thread. So you can fight me in there, and then I'll ban you because you're wrong. I don't think I've ever banned anyone. I don't think anyone's been banned. We've had to delete some messages because some of you are naughty people. But I've never banned anyone, which is good. So if you want to be the first, fight me. Yeah. I got the joke. I was reading it and then I realized I was reading it faster than I was speaking it, and then I got caught up. But yeah, the joke is that, yeah, fuck Lichguard. Yeah, orcs, cool. Space Marines. Now, I know stuff about Space Marines. Great news. Centurions are only 150. They used to be 165. Great news. Assault Intercessors down. The Ballistus is down. I don't have them. This used to be 220. 175 points down from 220 for a Brutalis. Excellent news. The Captain and Gravis army used to be 95. I don't know who this guy is. Yeah, that's great news. Desolation Squad, fine. I won't use them anymore. Eliminators used to be 95. And I thought they were decent at 95. 75 is great news. Heavy Intercessors used to be 110. Now 105. So Small buff. These used to be 90. These used to be 90. They used to be nice. So actually infiltrators were nerfed. Interesting. So infiltrators have gone up in points, but incursors have gone down in points. I was using incursors over infiltrators anyway, so that's good for me. Invicta Warsuits have gone down 50 points, which is great because I have 2 in my list. Caven's down by 5 points, great news. Redemptor is down in points, excellent news. I don't have one of them. This guy's got buffed already. Again, great news. I had one of him in the list because I just needed some points, but yeah, Redemptor. I believe this is a nerf, but who cares about Rowboat Gullyman? I think this is a nerf as well by 5 points. Can't quite remember. And then also this is weird. Sure, whatever. But also, yeah, Vanguard veterans with jump packs were buffed by like, I think there were 240 before, maybe more. So basically, a lot of the list I had has been buffed. Great news for me. Space Wolves, I find them offensive, so I'm going to skip them. And Tau, I believe, is the other one that got pretty significantly buffed. I think a lot of lists people were saying have like 300 more points. Whether that solves their problems, I don't know, but it's nice to at least, you know, nice you got the extra points. 1,000 Suns, everything was nerfed. I don't think anything here is a buff, but to go through, so this is annoying because it's now not 5 points change, it's a 10-point change, which is fine. 140 points, sure. Yeah, everything, all of your characters are just more expensive. Even at 440 points, I think Magnus is absolutely worth it. Oh yeah, that was mentioned before actually. Yeah, the cultists went down 5 points, but the cultists are just humans, who cares? I think that's also might have been one of the things that spawned it. Tell us again how Magnus did nothing wrong. Well, he's still worth 440 points. 100% worth 440 points. Mutalith used to be 145, I think. He was too cheap. Chauncey, I still think sees play at 165. I don't think you take 2 anymore. I think that might be too expensive, but maybe. Rubrics over 100 does feel a bit bad. I think these should have just been up to 100. Number 1 human hater is human. Joke's on you, I'm a VTuber, so actually, I'm literally nothing of importance. I feel like I still don't think a Demon Princes see much. I honestly think you're going to see the same list that you did before, just with like 1 less character or something, and it'll still be okay. Like for my list, for example, it's 195 points over. I take out the Mutalith Vortex Beast, I'm 30 points over. I take out a group of rubrics, and I'm about then a number 65. I'm 65 points under. I get another Swaddles Angles, and I'm back up to 2,000 points. And I lose 5 rubrics, which I was thinking about dropping anyway. I lose 100. I lose a Mutalith Vortex Beast, which I don't own anyway, and I get to use some more Zangles. Or I could put a Zangor Shaman in with the Shaman with them. I think that's fine. I honestly think that I'll live. And I could I use an Araman on disc. I could swap him without a disc and get a few extra points there. I could drop a thing here and get some more points. Yeah, and that's I could run 3 Hellbrutes. The Hellbrutes weren't changed. No, there was the 4 Fiend actually, so I could use a Forge Fiend. No, I've got a Forge Fiend. Or I could chuck some Chaos Spawn in there because I actually think they're still pretty good. I used some glue with a brush today instead of just tubes, and I'm never going back. Yeah, that's the one that everyone goes on about that I can't remember the name of. Emia glue? No. Someone will say the name in about 30 seconds after I've said it. Whatever that glue is. With the brush. Tyranids got nerfed. Unfortunate. Like, they nerfed all of this stuff. They've just made the book. Is all this is to me, that's all. Thank you. Yeah, it's true. Fortunately, it's not affected Cabal and Hellbrutes too. But I only own one Hellbrute. I could take a Hellbrute, to be fair. The NID's new codex points are irrelevant before it's even released, which is just... Well, yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, this is why codexes should not be used for rules. Essentially. Like, you should not... The codexes shouldn't be released with the assumption that you're going to get the latest and greatest rules. The codex should be there for a decent reference guide, and also for a lot of other stuff, like fluff information, good pictures, painting information, and just as like a collector's thing as well. I think relying on the codexes for rules should not be a thing anymore, and they should just... Yeah. Yeah, because of the printing thing, the codexes should just not include points. They should include the data sheets, because even if they're slightly off, incorrect, it's still an easy way to flick through and have a look, and also nice to just kind of look at the fluff with them as well, and the pictures. But they should just be like, points are just not going to be in the book, because they're instantly incorrect. Points are always going to be here. If you're buying the codex, we're going to put other stuff in there, like, again, like I said, the Age of Sigmar ones have like they have art stuff in there, like how to paint and whatever. And like, if you look at like some of the D&D books I've got, again, it's like, not to go back to D&D, but again, as an example, D&D books like the Player's Handbook, it's nice to have a bunch of like information there, nice pictures, or the DM's guide is nice to just have ideas. I've got some stuff like that, which is about like, you know, I've got campaign books and I don't run campaigns, but it's nice to go through and just look at the ideas that they present and some of the tables they have and the items they present. And I know you can get all of that on digital, and if 5e Tools, for example, has all of that information, but it's still nice to have a physical thing where if I'm not at my computer and I just want to have a nice look through like a really nice kind of graphic book, it's nice to have. So I think anything where you really are relying on points should all be digital. Codexes should just be a nice collector's piece, like an art book essentially, with some fluff information there, some stories, some cool information about all the different like paint schemes, how to paint, all of that stuff. I mentioned D&D because D&D books and codex books are very similar in what I use them for. Sworn is now just useless. No one used him before. World Eaters, they're eaten, I think. How much is your angry boy? He's still 415. He can get it changed. That's fair. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. You don't buy a codex with the assumption that you're going to get the latest and greatest rules. Buy a codex for the book stuff, and I think that Games Workshop should lean more into that. If they're going to like Legion says, if they're going to charge £35 for it, they should lean into that side a lot more than they do. Yeah, these look like good buffs. Anyway, yeah, we had a good chat. Not really about the points, because I don't know enough about the points. That's a fair point, CT. Yeah, points are there for casuals, but again, I think they really should just be making sure that they're pointing you to these things, like, you know, because that is going to be latest and greatest. And again, it goes back to like, if you're just, you know, if you just play with your friends, you're not that into like doing the competitive stuff. You just want to sit down, play some Warhammer. It doesn't matter what the rules, the points in the book say, because you'll just play with them and it'll be fine. But obviously, I guess the problem with that is that if you wanted to make a list, how are you going to make a list? Where you're going to go get the app, and the app's going to have all the different points. You're going to go, well, why are the points different in the app versus the book? So, I don't know. Unfortunately, all of that chat means it is quite late, so I'm going to have to unfortunately skip the second go through of your stuff, because we went on quite long today. I do want to at least potentially attempt to do comment of the week. I'll just read it out because it was a funny comment. I just need to find it. I believe it was on the 1 year video. And it was someone who said, where are you? Where are you, little shit? You know who you are. Where you at? I can't find it anymore. What's it sorted by? Top comment. Sort by newest. Because there was an early comment in the video. I'm pretty sure I liked it as well. It's not there anymore. The comment was essentially something along the lines of, I can't wait to come back in a year and find out that you've done absolutely nothing. And I responded to it, but I can't see it anymore. Highly rude. Maybe they deleted it or something. Oh well. Comment of the week was that comment. It was essentially something along the lines of, it was literally something like, I can't wait to come back in a year where you haven't done anything. And I said, how dare you say something that I 100% agree with. I absolutely did reply to it, but it seems to have disappeared off the face of the earth. Here we go. I found it. We did it. Simonio or Simonio66. I'm going to love coming back here in another year and seeing that he has done basically nothing he promised. Anyway, congrats on the success. And I said, I've never been so offended by something I 100% agree with. Usually I screenshot them, but I didn't have time. But I found it. I'm a good boy. I worked it out. Anyway. That will be it for today. Apologies for not being able to go through a second round of your submissions. I basically got lost in the D&D conversation. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. See you next time, next week. Go watch my latest videos if you haven't already, and go comment on them to help with all that algorithm garbage. But yep, thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.